Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and welcome to episode 261, of Defining Duke. It's another holiday episode. We don't know what episode we're really recording here. We just know it's the second one we're releasing in our holiday wave. We hope you are having a great holiday season if you are celebrating or just some time off with loved ones. As always, I'm joined by Santa Cog himself, Lord Cognito. How are you doing today, good sir?
Ho ho hoes. Oh, you hoes. I'm just joking. Let me stop. Hope you're having a good holiday. I got to get back to Ohio, man. Anyway, sorry. But I hope everyone's doing well. You know, we're in the grind. We're getting to the tail end of it. Well, for me, it's the middle. And then once I get past this part. Yeah, we got a big stretch for the end of the week of earlier, episodes that we got to record early. But I'm excited, man. We got stuff to talk about, unlike our Mets today as of recording, who have lost Edwin Diaz and the polar bear, Pete Alonso. I'm in mourning.
Yeah, dude. We're going to talk about it. I don't care if this is dated, because now people get to catch the raw emotion. And I feel like what's interesting about our holiday lineup this time around is that we've recorded these episodes back to back, which we've never done before. Usually like bank them in completely separate parts. So like life goes on and whatnot. But like in the last 24 hours, you lose your star closer and a guy who you were like, sure bet, lifelong bet. Bro, they crazy disrespected him. They didn't even offer him anything.
They didn't even make an offer. That's what threw me, especially with Steve Cohen, especially, he's such a lifelong Met fan. And then coupled with the fact that this is a homegrown Met power hitter, and then Pete got over the hump and became beloved with the playoff series. This threw me off.
Everything.
Yeah, I thought Cohen would override something like this.
Yeah, like get him an offer, like whatever he wants, that sort of thing. Like it really is. At least as we record this now, you want to wait and see the signings, because the only optimistic thought you're left with is, surely this is all for something, right? Like we're going to figure it out. But I had this sneaking suspicion going into this offseason. I was looking at the free agent pool and I'm like, it's a little top heavy. Like if you don't get the heavy hitter, that 1 to 2 is a huge drop off. And after that there's no one. And I was like, part of me went, for the needs the Mets have, I'm like, do they punt this season? And it kind of looks like they are, man. It really does. Like I looked at that and went, I mean, it might not end up being a punt if like these young guys step up. If you have like a Carson Bench and Jet Williams and all these other guys like step in and they just smoke the ball. Vientos becomes himself again. Right, that'd be nice. I don't know, bro.
No, I get it. It's tough. It's tough because there's the corporate cog GM side of me that says, I know what he's doing. It's like, we're not going to pay for aging stars and engage ourselves in long-term deals. I get that part, right? But there is something to say about Pete. Edwin hurts because I know how terrible our closer history is, and we've had it. Like we've never had a dominant. Like he was the guy that broke the mold.
Series run is in my head. I think of Familia, where the second everyone says closers don't matter. I don't value much. The second you've got a shaky closer, you feel that every game. Nothing is safe. Every player feels it. Every fan feels it. It's never safe. So when everyone's like, oh, we have Devin, I'm like, we have Devin, bro. Like, yeah, we have Devin Williams. It's not a good thing. He's not going to show up that guy. He's just not.
Bro, we beat him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not like, oh my God. So and then we come from Familia. We come from Benitez. Like, I remember these guys when you have bubble guts because he's going to blow the game. You know it. Like, all the work for nothing in the ninth inning because these fools are going to come out and ruin it. So you got that, right? So I'm like, damn, we don't always talk about Edwin, though. Let's give him a flower real quick. I know we go low. The trumpet. That was a moment.
I feel like we lost swagger this season.
Yeah, we lost the essence of a Met. Like the few things that we have positive. Like, but anyway, long story. Last thing I'll say is, I'm going to try to trust the process. Yeah, he is a smart person. He had an awful last season. I will not forgive him for last year. That was his worst as a GM. The season before, when we were the OMG Mets, he pulled rabbits out of hat. So I'm going to try to trust the process. I know my Milwaukee fans hit me like, Cog, you overreacting. These guys didn't win that much when you had that core. Okay, cool. But you better pull off the most amazing GM ship that I've ever seen to make me believe that what you're doing,
really wrestle with it, because the things he's targeting right now weren't the problems last season. Like, he's like, Nimmo, you're out. Pete, bye. I'm like, Diaz, bye. I'm like, these guys were the ones who actually showed up.
Where's the starting pitching though? Like, where's that? That's my thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you getting rid of things that's guaranteed the dopest part of the team. But I'm with you. That's literally why my frustration. We did not need to get rid of Nimmo and these three. It was an urgent need to get rid of them as far as I was concerned. But
I agree. Could have rocked with them another season. But nonetheless,
here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the Mets podcast.
Defining Mets, baby.
And speaking of the Mets, let's talk about Xbox. Same energy here, man. Looking ahead, you're not really sure what's going on, and that's how we're teeing it up, baby. We're looking into 2026 for Xbox. We always like to do a little bit of a look ahead. Now, normally our second holiday episode settles into that best and worst of Game Pass. I didn't feel right doing that this year. I don't know if it's something we do again. I unsubbed from Game Pass months ago, but also I'm just not in support of where Xbox is taking things, and I feel like it would just be a lopsided show at that point, or I'd be kind of like picking from the outside, like, oh yeah, this is good. If you're subscribed, I'm not really, though. It would feel inauthentic. So we wanted to instead size up what we know about Xbox's 2026 and make some fun predictions, kind of line up the games that we know about, which Xbox has been pretty clear about what's coming out next year. Challenge that a bit. Will they make it out next year? What are going to be some of those developer direct games that we see in a couple of weeks now? Obviously, what's the anticipation for the business? Are we going to see new hardware in 2026 in that anniversary year of Xbox? What about price jumps? We've seen a lot of that. Do they settle into $80 priced games because they kind of got away from that? Do we see hardware go up again in ways that are a little bit more out of Xbox's control, with things like RAM prices going up? Like, there's a lot to be said about what Xbox will be doing in 2026. I would say for me, top down look, and I'll pass it to you, Cog, is that I feel last year was the final year of like, will 2025 be the year Xbox delivers, right? Like, that was our headline heading into the new year. And I've been that Xbox fan where like, next year's the year. Like, I'll call myself out on that. Next year's the year. I have accepted that next year might not be the year, but also that in a lot of my problems with the brand, my main thing when we talked about delivering was like volume of games, which they have really right the course on. Business wise, it's a whole different conversation, and I've sort of just kind of let sleeping dogs lie on that one. But yeah, ultimately going in, I'm not looking at it as like, will this be the year they deliver, but like what they are delivering, will it be great? And when is it arriving? And that's kind of where my head's at. Cog, how are you looking at 2026 for Xbox going into this?
It's a spiritual year for them. The reason why I'll say that is because everything is so tied, in my opinion, to the 25th anniversary. And the fact that they have continued to acknowledge that actually means something to me, because I'm like, okay, we know the burger, fries, and shake are coming, and a lot of things that we will talk about. But I do feel they understand the gravitas of that moment. The question becomes, everything that is scheduled, I think now we got the point of, we got the volume, right? The volume is good. Like 2025 volume. But now I think the fair conversation is say, can you deliver game of the year 85 plus style experiences to truly separate you? And I have thoughts there. I got two titles that I want to talk about later that I feel are really critical to that. And I think they need to shed that. Some of it has been unfair to them, because we know Forza Horizon 5, it wasn't counted, or whatever. Indiana Jones, it wasn't counted. And that's why I get on them with release date cadence, because I want them to be part of these conversations. But to me, it matters, bro. It really does. And it helps the studio. We see, right now, as a recording with prior to the Game Awards, and it's just like, it matters to have your titles listed in these comps. Not only it brings awareness to the title in the studio, you know what I'm saying? As you as a brand, you change perception, you change culture. Yeah. And I think they've been unfortunate with some of their release schedules. But that's what I think this is. I think for me, we're past volume as far as I'm concerned. Now it's about, I want high end quality, something that we go, ooh. So I can't wait to talk about some stuff.
I agree. Yeah, I think that is a goal they should always strive for. There's some games that definitely we've talked about historically get overlooked because of the platform. I think Ori was the best example of that. I think Ori was one of those things exclusive to their platform. 100% should have been in some type of game of the year conversation. Never really made that cut. That type of stuff is frustrating. Of course, Horizon 5, with the way it reviewed and how many people reviewed it and played it, not making any sort of cut was a strange one here. And when I look at the lineup here, there are, for me as well, a couple of games I look at where I think by title alone, these should punch above the rest in a significant manner. Xbox, I think, as you kind of just described a second ago, they're always a little bit in the mix, as in like they're putting a lot of stuff out and they're putting out good to great games in some instances. But what is that separating quality? What's the big swing? It feels like we haven't gotten that, at least in my brain right now, since really Starfield, where you mark it on the calendar, that type of release. Because when you look at before and after that, like Indiana Jones was a Game of the Year contending title, I think, but we had so many questions going into it and there was some level of doubt surrounding it. And when the reviews came out, that's when the conversation carried forward. But by that point, the show's over. It's a little too late, right? So I'm very curious to see if these games I'm looking at, there's two, really three. I mean, but one of them's more for me.
Okay.
Separate themselves enough. Yeah, you definitely know what they are. Can put themselves in that conversation. But let's start off with the developer direct, right? That's soonest for our audience before we start looking at the games. What games show up? What 4 show up?
Man, it's a good question.
Is it going to be 4? It'll be 5.
I know. I think it's going to. It's funny because we both agree this is like our favorite show from Xbox. It's a nice pocket. It's January. You start off the year. You get a preview of what's going on. The presentation is top notch. We love that. The question now becomes, okay, who from the lineup? So I'm going to predict for sure burger, fries, and shake will be there at minimum. Those are the 3, right? So I do feel, I do. Forza, the rumors are, right? Forza Horizon 6, potentially first half of the year. This is a huge release for Playground. They've had enough development time because they've taken an extra year normal from, I think, the 3 to 4. So they're ready. The fact that it's Japan will be huge, right? So to go over to Playground, I think that's a guarantee. That's a knock. Obviously, Halo campaign involved. I played it. They are definitely coming out. The question is, as far as when they're coming out, that's a whole other can of words based on GTA's proximity. But we got that. But and the third, it's got to be. It's because Gears was. I believe Gears did have a year on it, right? I believe so. I'll double check. But they've been promoting E-Day. My only concern with E-Day, though, is release. But I do feel like we take a trip to Coalition. So I feel like we're going to go in those office. I'm going to stay with those 3 for right now. We will have probably a mystery third-party game, knowing them, some type of publishing deal or, Game Pass deal. They got the rights and stuff like that. They want to kind of get behind it. They've done that with, it was an Expedition, I believe, or not Expedition. They did it with, obviously Ninja Gaiden. They've done it before with like Square 1 year. Yeah. So I do believe they will. Yeah. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to keep it conservative for right now for 4. You know what I'm saying? And see what's happened now. The big one, the elephant in the room is obviously Fable, kind of thing. And I'm going to go on I'm going to say no for Fable I hope I'm wrong. I hope Fable's there. But I'm going to say no for Fable there, but they'll hit you with the tune in at the developer direct. You know what I'm saying? Like that type, and really give them enough more time and put it in the spot where we all felt it was supposed to be in 2025. So that's my prediction right now. What you got going?
All right. I think 5 games. That's what I'm going with right now.
I like that.
I feel good. And that's why this episode's so funny, because I could be dead fucking wrong. Okay. I'm with you on Fable. I don't think Fable is here. I think that is one that sets up for the big summer showcase. It just feels like the game that, based on the way Xbox talks about and how much we don't know about it, that it needs the most time to just like sink into that, to really show itself off and get an exclusive showing, since we now have the rumor that Forza Horizon is coming spring 2026 from Nate the Hate. That kind of sets it up where, okay, that's ahead of summer. So that's not going to be this double feature we kind of speculated on for the summer showcase. So that leaves it completely open to Fable, where seemingly should have been this past year in 2025. So I don't think Fable's here as well. My prediction of the 4 games that will be there from Xbox are Forza, of course. Let's get that one out of the way. I think Forza Horizon 6 has to be a lock, especially if it's coming that soon. It also got a recent reveal. I think that's there. Gears of War, I think should be there. I think it's time to lay eyes on that one, see what Coalition's doing. Because they talked about it a lot when they revealed it. We got the cinematic trailer. I am going to hang on to that rumor a little bit of we could have gotten it technically earlier. We'll get into some release speculation on that in a moment here on when I think they're coming out. But I think that can be surprise of the show energy of like, whoa, that's way further along than I thought. And then these next 2 COG, I'm going off the board a little bit.
All right, let's go.
Clockwork Revolution. I think that will be there. I know they had a nice 7-minute trailer. I think this is where they kind of rip off the when it's ready Band-Aid and like literally tear it off and you actually see a date. I think they're going to date this game at the top of the year because I think it's coming out this year, and I'll get into why I think it's coming out this year in a little bit. And then I'm going to throw State of Decay in there. I think these shows always have that sleeper of like, that's there? And I want to say last time it was Indiana Jones, where we were like, oh, really? And this time it was Ninja Gaiden, where it was like, oh my God, like that's ready and it's coming out this year. I feel there's always one that is snuck up on me every showcase. So I normally went with Old Reliable for these predictions. But I really do think that State of Decay is really overdue for an update. And if I'm Xbox, you're looking at a really, because you notice here, I said Fable's being left out. I didn't mention Halo. Like you're looking at in Call of Duty's there, a tremendously busy year, right? And I think everything needs its window because that, if Xbox is thinking about it the right way, at least from my point of view, exposure needs to be maximized at all costs this year. Because if you were going to go hard on Fable this summer, that might overtake everything, which is great. But if State of Decay also gets its first look in that showcase, then that might get overshadowed. And maybe you want to bury it. I don't know. But I see a world where they put it here because it's, number one, time. It's been overdue. We got to briefly like gameplay ideas for it. They've talked about it enough. And I feel, again, this is one that you rip off the Band-Aid and kind of give it just a loose window. I don't think they really commit hard to a month or even a season. I think you just know the release year. But those are the 4 I'm picking. The 5th, COD. I feel very good about this prediction here because of the leaked date. I would not, to be fair, have predicted this if I did not see it. But the rumor right now is that Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake is shadow dropping January 16th. That happens to fit right nicely in the second week of January, where we always get a nice developer direct. I would be so surprised if this was not the, and we got a 5th game or a 4th game, whatever it may be. And here's the secret thing. It's out now because the way I look at it is I don't think Ubisoft has the resources or the platform to kind of on their own,
I see
like what Bethesda did, like here's an Oblivion stream and everyone's like, holy shit. I don't know if Prince of Persia does that, but if Prince of Persia is part of this, I think it's signal boosted. And I say this as a Prince of Persia fan. And the reason I think they want to do it on a platform like this is Ubisoft's been chewed alive by the marketing cycle. Get this thing out ASAP, get maximum eyes on it. It's in Game Pass. And I think that's how they go about this one. I don't think it sets a standard for, other releases from Ubisoft, more Game Pass titles from them. But I do think this could be one that shows up as, again, the date just looks to me funky. It could just be doing its own thing. That would also be interesting and fun, but it is to me funky where I'm like, and I don't know, man, Xbox has had this shadow drop energy around developer direct. Most of them have had it. Hi-Fi Rush, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Yeah. So I feel like this could be a possibility. So those are the 5 games I'm going with. Yeah.
I like this. I like your show better. Your show is fun. Yeah, because look, I mean, man, I would love State of Decay to be there. Like that would really, and if there was somehow they could get out, between the first half or summer, man, that would be perfect. And I will give you this. One thing I like about the way you said, first of all, we all want Clockwork, right? So it's like, that's fine. But one thing I do like about it is that because in your showcase, you don't have Halo in yours. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Right. So Halo, I will give you like Halo and Fable does scream showcase reveal energy, right? As opposed to develop a direct for Halo. So I will give you that. Like those titles to me deserve the biggest stage to see what's going on.
But also they can stand on their own. You know, like Halo has multiple places it can show itself off.
That is true.
And bring that attention and energy. I don't think Clockwork is getting the attention it deserves. I think it needs to be in a slot like this. It had a trailer that demanded your attention last year, and I think that even got a little bit overlooked. I don't know why. I don't know what people want, but I look at Clockwork. I'm like, dude, this thing should be talked about the same way like Larian's talked about with their games. And I really don't think it'll happen until the game comes out and people are like,
until it comes out.
Yeah, and like the clips are shared, that sort of thing, and like Fargo gets his moment of like he's that guy.
I agree.
So I think Clockwork needs to be there. Like Halo can stand on its own. Again, I'm trying to think of it maybe overly strategically. I think for a lot of these showcases, it seems to come down like what's ready. But if everything's ready, I think ideally they're focusing strictly on first party because there's so much first party content this year. Like I don't see room for the third party outside of like the random fifth game, you know, where it's like, oh, surprise. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with here, Cog. 5-game show, 4 first party titles, 1 Ubisoft Shadow Drop. We'll see you there.
I like it. It's very strong. I like it.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's start talking about these games, expectations for each of these games, but also release windows. That's the big one our audience is looking for. And I'm historically terrible at this, as we've had with our our fantasy bets. I'm really bad with the release date predictions, but I still like to do them. Let's go down the list, Cog. Fable. Expectations, what we're hoping for, when's it coming out?
Jesus, this is the hardest one. This is literally the hardest one. You know, they delayed the game initially. We got the announcement that delayed and it was going into this year. But then the landscape of this year has changed. And then we need to know how far they are. I agree that if any title is going to have, my first prediction is any title is going to have the showcase spotlight game, it's this title, right? Yeah. Which then comes down to, how close they can release it. So I'm just going to go perfect world energy, and this could be all wrong. I'm just going to go perfect world energy that they need. They got the time they needed. You know, it's a second half of the year game. Ideally, you would like this game to be out in like September. That's what I'm going to go with. You know what I'm saying? You need to separate yourself, give yourself enough window from all the other heavy hitters that comes out, and it gets the focus. So I'm going to optimistically, this is with no knowledge, just hoping that this is a showcase with a September release date, and we go, okay, it gets enough time to breathe and we get to dig into this game. So that's what I'm going with Fable for now.
Okay. Yeah, Fable for me is a tough one as well, because I think there's a very realistic world this does not come out next year. That's
another possibility.
Yeah. Like I have it in my notes. I'm like delayed to 2027 with a question mark, because I think it makes sense for it to take that summer showcase slot. But there's also a world where is that Clockwork, is that Gears, you know, and those take the big stage, and Fable's just not a factor next year at all. Like, I think that's a very realistic possibility. I struggle to wrap my head around, because I'm like, certainly it's got to be time. Like, it's got to be. You gave yourselves at the top of 2025 a whole year off and be like, yeah, you're not seeing it this year. Like, we're delaying it out of this year. So sometime in 2026 would make sense. If it does release in 2026, I like your window. I do. I feel like if I'm Playground and the first time I show this thing off, I feel like you want to keep that window short, because it's been easily one of the most anticipated games for Xbox this generation. And I don't know what that marketing window looks like, but I like October for this game.
Okay.
If it's coming out next year, 2026, I like October. I think ultimately you're trying to avoid the GTA splash, but this feels like a game that just needs every minute it can get in development. It reminds me a little bit of Starfield. Like, every minute you can get, put it in. And I also like October as a month, because Xbox likes to do their early access plans. And I see a world where it's like, hey, don't worry about GTA, because you can get in like 5 days early. And I think Xbox is going to weaponize that plan a lot for their late season games. I think in a lot of ways, as I'll talk about with other games, I do think I'll save it for the next game, actually.
Okay.
For Fable, I think it's a coin toss for me, but I'm going to go with it's been long enough. It's got to be ready. And we're going to see it release October next year. And that would be very nice. Be very
nice. Yeah. Give them as much time as they need. And still, I feel that's enough window for the blast radius of GTA for it to get the proper, zeitgeist moment it needs. I like that. Those are good. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. This next one, Cog. Halo Campaign Evolved. This is a big one. Multi-platform Halo, remaking one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time, personally. One of the most important video games ever made. And it's the return of 343 now as Halo Studios. And seeing what they've learned since then. The game has already proven to be a little divisive. I don't want to oversell it. It's not incredibly divisive, but a little divisive, where people are talking about things like sprinting, the way scenes are shot, level design changes. Ex-devs are pitching in from Bungie and talking about it. It's drawing a lot of attention. Now, this game has the perfect release date, November 15th, 2026, right?
It's a beautiful day. It's gorgeous.
25th. Yeah, it is a gorgeous day for a Lord to celebrate his birthday and play a little Halo, just like he did 25 years ago. Yeah. So, Cog, Halo Campaign Evolved. You played it. I want to know your expectations, because I feel like you have the more informed take. Like, does this need more time in the oven? Do you think it needed so much more time that it even comes out in 2026? Or do they delay just to get out of the splash radius? Like, this is one that's in a it's out of all the games on this list, I think, based on at least my predictions, in the toughest spot. So what do you think happens with Halo, and what are you expecting?
It is in the toughest spot because, again, we know the theme from Xbox has been celebrating this 25th anniversary. In a perfect world, they would like this game in that proximity of that from a symbolic standpoint, right? As a person who played the game, I look at it as like, okay, it needs more UE5 in the oven energy to get rid of stutters and stuff like that. But I do think that type of stuff won't take that long for development. You know what I'm saying? Now that they got the feedback, they're there. And then here's the thing that I got to give them. I feel a little bit more optimistic that it will definitely hit 2026 is the fact that, remember, we're not coming with any multiplayer, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge lift to not deal with. Now, granted, you're still remaking a classic. You got to take all the feedback and stuff like that. So now the release date. So if I'm saying September with Fable, I'm saying October. I don't know if we have this list, but I'm going to mention, I feel if, based on the news lately with COD and everything that's going on, COD's either going to want to do one or two things, in my opinion. COD is either going to come out early in October because they have to avoid GTA 6, or I may say COD may get delayed because as crazy as it sounds, like out of the normal window, like when they put out a statement like this, that shows fear. Like, this was not to the expectation. This is our moneymaker. We cannot mess the next one up. Remember, we're not doing warfares back to back, no more Black Ops back to back. This is a major year for Call of Duty, and Call of Duty takes way precedence over Halo as that now they're the steward of it. So to me, Call of Duty is the wild card because it could be October, but it could be, December. We need more time. It could be. Right, so now with Halo,
let's go. Hit me with it. Come on.
This is tough. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say they're not gonna do something stupid, but I think they're gonna still stick with November. They're gonna pull like a Ghost of Your Time. They're not gonna really concede like we feel they should and move up as earlier as possible if they could avoid it. They're going to try to still stay in November. And I'm looking at my calendar now. So let's say November 2026. Let's look at the dates. Because right now, the 15th falls on a Sunday. So you're not releasing on the Sunday. And you're not releasing on a Tuesday, the 17th, because the 19th is damn, So looking at my calendar, if I'm going to, they'll probably go, we'll drop November 3rd. You know what I'm saying? Like that first week of November. So this way they like, okay, we got 2 weeks before the napalm bomb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get out the Halo, get out the nostalgia. Hey, guys. And it's single player. So in their mind, and plus it'll be on PlayStation kind of thing. That gives them 2 weeks to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And they might, they're like, oh, we'll still survive. Even if GTA does their promo, their ego will still put them out there. So I still think they're going to go probably November just to stick with the whole 25th anniversary Halo. Yeah. And they'll save face because they'll still be in November and it won't be the 15th, but they'll be like, I can see the mark. I can see the Xbox wire now. Yeah. This month marks the, they'll use the month, marks the anniversary.
The month, not the day.
Month. I can already see the PR spin. I can see the text.
They move the date up as in. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I think 2 weeks up from where they wanted to go prior to the GTA. So I'm gonna go that first week of November 2026.
Okay, I like it. I am kind of with you. Okay,
all right, what you got?
So kind of what I was alluding to when talking about Fable. Halo Campaign Evolved is an interesting one. I think Xbox holds the line completely here. Like I do think they stick with the 15th, and that's because again, I think their little Swiss Army knife in the pocket, bro. Early access. Oh, if that's a problem. Pay a little extra. Come on in early, become a Game Pass subscriber, pay another $15, $20, get that early access bundle. You saved some money and you got to play Halo before GTA. Here's the thing that I think some people are overlooking that some game is going to take advantage of. Who's going to be the time killer for GTA? And by that, I mean, as you wait for GTA, what's the cheap thing that you get to play real quick that's low commitment? And Halo Campaign Evolved, granted they're adding 3 prequel missions, but Halo Combat Evolved is a short 10-mission story that takes you under 10 hours. And unless they've changed something dramatically here, it should still be that. I think because the commitment's low and because the problems that you expressed to me were not so concerning, I feel like, oh, they got to, like, it's not like a mind's eye. When I previewed that, I was like, oh, you guys got to move. Like, you got to, it doesn't sound that drastic yet. And so you combine that with the early access plan. I feel they hang on to that anniversary date because I just think this could be me. I mean, I forget Saya's in charge now. I feel it means something though. Like I feel it means something to get Halo out on that day. I feel it would be more impactful. And I think if you bend to GTA in the way where you start to move your date around, it just loses its swagger a little bit. And it's not like, it's like, oh, I can play this whenever. And I think that's going to be the mindset for a lot of people already because money's tight. I can play this whenever. But I think for those who are like week to week gamers, like a lot of the listeners of our show, engaged in Game Pass or willing to subscribe for a month, I think Xbox is really going to lean into that here and just hope that those who do play are going to lean into the time killer mentality and the cheap way in via early access.
So I got a question for you. So, okay, if they, based on your theory, they hold the fort, they hold the line. Mm-hmm. Now, remember, November 15th, 2026, my birthday falls on a Sunday. Yeah. So do you do Tuesday the 17th, bowl the same week? Or when 19th is the bomb, you doing the 17th, sir? I just want to clarify. Or are you scurrying back a little to the 10th? You know what I'm saying? How are we playing this? Because technically they cannot drop on the 15th. That is a Sunday. So where they putting it in Mr. Maddie's world?
I think the 10th. Yeah. The 10th for early access. Yeah.
Little
I think after is like you've missed the window. Before by a few days, it's like, like we're there. We're there, right?
So you like 10th Tuesday, early access even before the Tuesday if you want to jump in, or Tuesday the 10th.
Yeah, early, like 5 days. Like I'm thinking Avowed. Like Avowed did a major early access window because of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Mm-hmm. And I think Halo is going to deploy a similar strategy because I think this game's going to sell well. Like, I don't know how well, but I think it's going to do solid. Because I think it's easy to forget when Infinite's hype was like real, that player count was fucking intense, dude. Granted, the spirit of Halo was very different back then. Yes. We're seemingly far removed from that, but I'm curious to see how the market responds to this, if it's really great. And I personally will, even with GTA, be making time for Halo. And I also think this is another thing that a lot of companies are considering, right? There's obviously that panic when GTA parks next to your game.
Yes.
But are people really believing that? is my question. Like is Xbox looking at that like, oh sure, okay, buddy, like, or are they looking at it going, oh okay, they're actually going to launch? I feel it should be time for GTA. It's been time for GTA. Anybody's guess really, but I feel they hold the line. I like what you were saying earlier, like hold the line, don't really cave too early, keep the plans tentatively in place, and if it's really looking spooky, we kind of got a taste of that with Outer Worlds 2. We know the kind of window in which they react in. Like they usually take a month or so. So whatever move they make with Halo, I don't think we'll actually see until like August of like, okay, it's time to move, one way or the other. So
okay, I like this.
Yeah,
you look closer, but I like it. I still like the mentality. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, Cog. This next game is one we never considered, but once again, Nate the Hate stepped in, gave us a glimmer of hope. Clockwork Revolution. Brian Fargo, one game, 5 years. This guy's been cruising away with his beautiful team at InXile. I think something that's going to be special. I really do. I mean, all you have to do, again, ladies and gentlemen, you want to know what I'm talking about? Just fire up a little Wasteland 3. Connect with that choice and consequence, that insane writing. It's a beautiful, it's XCOM meets Fallout in the most perfect way. It's a game that if you thought Cog and I became a super director for a video game, like our brains literally merged, it's this game.
It's this game.
It really is this game, man. It's crazy. Play that and you'll suddenly feel, I mean, just by looking at Clockwork, I think that as well. But playing Wasteland 3, you will understand what they're capable of. It's as if Larian went from, what they did with Baldur's Gate to like a big first-person game. So I think that's what Clockwork's doing. I'm very excited about this one, and even more excited that it's possible, Cog, that it comes out in 2026. So again, I pass it to you. What's the expectation, for the game, and when do we think it's coming out?
Yeah, they strong. That changed the game because remember last time we saw Clockwork Revolution, as you reported, they had to. Well, we'll just say that we were very happy that they was put in the showcase. Under the impression that maybe there may have been resistance because of what was shown, but I thought it was phenomenal, and there was a lot of moment to moment gameplay, that kind of stuff. But then it ended, and it said in due time. Which left a question mark. We were like, really? Okay, you're not ready to commit.
7 minutes of content, no date.
7 more than Fable, more than any. It looked like almost ready to go kind of game. So now that I'm processing that, and then now Nate the Hate gives us the little alley-oop. Yep. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get optimistic, man. I'm gonna get first half energy because here's the thing. You don't conflict with a Forza. You don't. Forza is its own thing, right? One thing we learned during the greatest year that they've had was 2021 was that Forza and Halo really did not cannibalize as much as we thought they would. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is Clockwork, a new IP, as long as it's not literally the same month, you know what I'm saying, as Forza, we'll be fine, right? So now I'm like, all right, maybe I get a little greedy and go a little May energy or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But then that now makes me, if it's first half, I may have to revise my developer direct thing, which means it probably has to be at developer direct because if it's first half, because here's the thing, I would have not. If they did say this now, and then looking back, now that I look back at that trailer, they showed a lot, bro.
Yeah.
They showed a lot.
I rewatched that thing, dude. It had everything. It's all there. It's polished. So I bet that game is done. It's been done, and they've just been fine tuning it because of the complexity of the time travel mechanic and how that affects the world. I bet that has taken so much time to get right, but that this game's been done in the terms of content for a while. Yeah.
Now here's the thing. So now I gotta go with the mouth to really. Oh, I'm gonna pull a Doom in the Dark Ages kind of day. They were like May. I'm gonna go with a May.
Okay.
Give them as much time towards the end of that first half and it's a nice lead in, and then they won't have to be at the direct, you know what I'm saying, because it'll be out, and then the direct can focus on those other titles that are very key, you know, to them. So that's what I'm going with right now. But this could go either way. I know I could be off with this one, but this is what as of now how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I was actually, I mentioned Nate the Hate. I was incorrect. It was a LinkedIn profile from a former NFL writer who listed this as a 2026 project.
Yes. So where you at?
Okay. I'm going late summer. I feel, you know, August hinging on September sort of approach in my brain. There's not much reasoning. I'm kind of thinking about where things are spread and how nicely it can be placed. Again, this is me thinking idealistically, like the game has been done and they're kind of just assessing what's left to polish and then picking their spot here. I think Clockwork Revolution fits in nicely because you want to get in before. It's not even about GTA at this point for Clockwork. I, again, think the game is tremendously undercovered. I think it's somehow underexposed until it reaches a new level of mainstream. I don't know when that'll be, but I think it needs the window to do that. I think definitely based on how RPGs have been the top games in gaming these last few years, like we have Expedition Game of the Year, and then we also have Baldur's Gate, which was Game of the Year, right? Like these RPGs that are more hardcore than most are the ones that are kind of having these takeover moments. And I think they've also thrived because less Expedition, but the window that they've been in, right? They've kind of come out on top of everything around them. I think Clockwork needs that little bit of room to breathe. And when I say to breathe, I know there will be games coming out around that time, but it shouldn't be in the thick of the holiday mess. I think I'm hoping that Xbox, and a lesson they learned from this last year, is like, what's funny about these games and predictions we're making is there's a world where they're like, Halo, Clockwork, Gears, all in the same month. See you in October. And that's just how it goes. And that's the one thing that hangs me up when we do these release date predictions is I'm sure there's someone in our audience who's like, this is idealistic because it's so nicely spread out, right?
Yes, we're very idealistic for sure.
And knowing Xbox, they'll blast them all out at once. I do hope that there is some level of lesson learned, like, hey, we buried some games last year. You know, like we might want to, like, hey, our marketing kind of screwed one of those 3 games last year. Like we might want to learn from that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Keeper. Sorry.
You know, so I'm hoping that with that in mind, Clockwork gets the room it needs to just breathe a little bit. Again, it'll be no doubt around competition because every month seems busy in gaming.
For sure.
But I feel if you keep it out of that holiday area and just kind of on the fringe of it, that fall holiday area, I think it finds itself in a nice pocket, comparatively speaking. Just hopefully there's no direct competition of like a big first-person RPG. Then I'll be like, damn, man,
I know.
I'm going to get swept.
I know. But let me ask you, so you were saying summer Clockwork, right? That's what you got. Just on the record. That's what you're thinking.
Late summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you have Fable again? I just want to
I had Fable October 2026.
Okay.
Yeah. I said that's the coin toss one. I don't want to walk the line for our audience. I'll commit to October, but I feel like it's just as realistic of a possibility to be like, we'll see you in 2027. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Because I'm glad you
I got
mentioned
Halo in November, so I got your 1, 2, 3 basically.
1, 2, 3. Gotcha. The reason why I'm asking, the only reason I want to bring this up is that this is what they, now that we've talked about both titles, particularly Fable and Clockwork. I personally feel those 2 games are the most important games for Xbox in 2026.
For the hardcore, yeah. I think these are the optic improvers to in my opinion. Like these are the ones that win you street cred if you get them right.
Yes.
You know, I think Fable will do really well. I think Clockwork could do really well, but I'm with you. I think these are the ones that you gotta, honestly, I think all of them are crucial in some way. Can you make a great Halo game still? Even if the blueprint's right there? Like Halo Campaign Evolved is kind of like a challenge to themselves. It's like, you're not making anything up, dude. It's right there. Like you just have to, it's not literal copy and paste, but for the consumer, that's what it's going to look like. Like, dude, the blueprint's right there. So it's a challenging year for them. Sorry, go ahead. I was interrupting you.
No, you're all fine because you're absolutely right. And like, to me, Forza is the slam dunk, but I still got to come in with a slight trepidation only because I felt this way when Microsoft Flight Sim, remember, it was supposed to come back out, and then their initial launch of 2024 was a disaster. I'm like, yo, it took all the way up to now. I just finished playing the new one, the 25. They got the Stranger Things going on, the DLC going on, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. They got the Hawkins, it's awesome. But it took that title a minute to get back to the respectability. Remember, they tried to do the cloud launch and all that. So what I'm trying to say is, Forza is supposedly the slam dunk, provided no random rake foolishness from Xbox. You know what I'm saying? But I'm confident. I am confident in Forza Horizon 6. Whatever. But to your point, Halo can 343, right? To a great Halo game, you know, and then obviously Fable. We this is so critical to Playground, to Xbox. Yeah. It's a core IP. It's people like you that's an addict that's the game they bought an Xbox for, right? So, and here's the thing: if you nail Fable as Playground, I told Obsidian, forgive me, I would have to reconsider. You know, who's at least right there, blow for blow. Like you drop a Forza Horizon and a Fable, and they're both 85 plus type get, bro. Yeah. That's a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
Fable I agree. 90 plus, like that's. I know that's a very high bar to reach, but I do think Fable needs to sort of, with how much talent they've inherited from like CD Projekt Red and whatnot. I think that game's expectation should be like sky high. They've spent so much time on it. I know it's a racing studio making this big open world transition to RPGs. But I really do think that game needs to be like beyond a home run. You know, like my expectations for that are high because it's got to be more than
I respect
great,
that.
You know,
I respect that. I respect the expectation. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go probably 85, 87, but I'm with you. Right? Yeah. Cause I'm like, this Xbox, bro. we're doubles, singles and doubles hitters right now.
Contact baseball on this part of
the industry. Move the guy over, next man up. But you are right though. Like we should have that expectation for them. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to get those balls off as far as that.
Okay. All right. So Clockwork is in a nice spot here. That moves us on to Gears of War E-Day. Returning as Marcus Phoenix. And a lot of hopes and anticipation rest on this one. I have a lot of thoughts on this game, Cog. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to tee us up in a negative way, but I do have mild concern about Coalition. Not from an output standpoint or capability, but I am a little bit on my Cliffy B wave with like, I kind of think there's a lack of conviction at that team where you kind of wrote yourselves into a corner with Gears 5. And I don't think it was an impossible corner, but you really sidestepped it. And I guess that's good business because there was legit hype for E-Day. But I also look at that and go like, that's kind of dodgy shit, man. Like you kind of abandoned the game plan to go back and tell a prequel story. And no doubt that'll still be interesting, but they've like talked already, like their plan is to kind of make more E-Days and a trilogy out of it. I'm like, so what happened to the like, is this whole story, does it need to be told so that we can then get to 6? So y'all know how I feel about story. And I'm not going to act like Gears is this fucking narrative masterpiece that I hold in the highest of regards. It's a great story, but I do look at that, as Cliffy B would put it, cowardness, right? I look at that and I'm like,
you said it on my show.
How, you know, the confidence level, like what were the ideas here? It shook me a little bit. I've always been a faithful follower of the Coalition. I've always said that what they did with Gears was tremendous because they responsibly carried the torch. Whereas we know what happened with Halo and 343. So I'll always give them credit for that. Gears of War 4, I always define as I kind of call it like the Force Awakens of the Gears franchise.
Okay, I like that.
Like that. Nice safe pocket. You basically got A New Hope again. That's fine. I like A New Hope. They didn't like barriers. Gears 5's first half is fucking amazing. It's some of the best Gears you can have. And it's the ending that really gets them where they're like, oh shit. So that did not brew a level of concern in me at the time, but now it's been so long. It's like, who's there? What's changed? Like there's a lot that's different with the Coalition now. So I don't mean to tee us up too critically here. But I look at them and I'm like, are they ready for next year? You know, we got a Tom Warren rumor to hang our hat on, and that's really about it. Otherwise, it's a cinematic trailer. But Cog, I kick it to you. Gears E-Day. Is it showing up next year and when? What are we to expect?
Before we answer that, I'm going to break protocol. Fuck them kids. We go Dom and Marcus. I don't care about no Kate. I don't care about no. Forget them.
So you
good.
My life. This shit's
bury it.
Yeah.
Bury it. I am going to be super messy with this. Like, nah,
I like this. Okay.
bro, it's like, to me, that was course correction. That was analyzing your audience, seeing it, the tail end of this franchise, kind of like people really cool on it. Like, this was the top guy. This was the guy that overthrown Halo from an Xbox IP perspective. Yeah. So again, not saying the core gameplay of 4 or 5 is terrible, but to your point, they worked themselves in the corner. And it's got to be real. Like, they're just uninteresting to me. They're okay. Like there's nothing, like, so I guess some Star Wars guys, feel that away about the new cast, so to speak, the Kylo Rens and what's the other chick, Raya, what's her name? You know what I'm saying? Oh, like, right. That's how it's like, you're cool, but you're never gonna be Luke. You're never gonna be Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Kids. So for me personally, I love it. Now, what I will give you is this. There's a lot of pressure to how do you bring back the core cast. That's cool. But how do you make the formula that at this point you can make an argument is a little antiquated, and they need to do something gameplay wise to make me go, okay, Gears is back, but in this dope, cool form, and it's more exciting again. I thought they flirted a little bit. I don't know if you played Gears Hive Busters. Hive Busters DLC, that was like one of the few things to play at Xbox Series launch, because they didn't had no games. They had no games. But I played the hell out of that Hive Busters DLC, and I was like, okay, graphics done is great. Exactly. We was hungry, man. We were starving for crumbs.
I was on Demon's Souls remake. I did not play Hive Busters.
Yeah, PlayStation's launch was good. They had Miles.
Miles and Demon's Souls. That was a good time.
Oh, bro. Great launch. Anyway, so my thing was like, okay, they flirted with individual abilities per gear character. One guy had a shield. I've got the other guy. They all had individual special talents. So I want to see some formula change, right? We know we got Marcus, we got Dom, they're young. This is before the thing. We should get good narrative beats. And the reason why I love it, I'm a huge Gears Tactics fan. And Gears Tactics was also kind of prequel energy. That was Kate's dad. Gabe is the homie. I hope I get a little Gabe or something. Like, there's chances to flirt with this universe. Stay here. Please. This is core. This is peak. We don't have to ever go back. But now let's get to the main event. All right. So where does it go? This is the toughest game to predict because one, it is Gears of War, a pillar franchise. But we got to be honest, like, unless it's absolutely ready, I think it's too big for a developer direct, to be honest. I feel like there's a part of me that's like, okay, it does deserve a showcase energy, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing, to really break it down. Not that I'd be mad it'd be at the direct, but it's like you can make the argument it's really big for that. Now, here's the thing is the placement. And if I had to guess, knowing Xbox, they're going to do what I don't want them to do. I'd rather them delay it if it's not ready, right? But I got this sneaking suspicion. I don't know why. I hope I'm wrong. They're going to pull this December crap.
Oh, the last
I have this
of the year.
The last month for
they love December. Oh.
They love December. They know I hate December. I hate it for reasons. And I'm just like, I got this funny feeling they're going to Indiana Jones it. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, people are going to buy it. It's for the holidays. It's Gears.
Holiday adventure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, because you can't have it in the same month as Halo. GTA is GTA. I don't know where it fits. But if it's ready, I don't know where it fits. It's Gears. Don't get me wrong. If Gears and Fable, if one of the two is ready, who prioritizes? Maybe, you say, okay, Gears takes the Fable spot. I can see that happening, right? And then Fable gets another delay with it. Okay, that makes sense, right? Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's such a wild card. I don't know how far they're on development. It's just so many questions. So for now, my safe pick, they'll pull a December.
I like that. Yeah.
and just say for the holidays, here you go, get back in there with the gang type energy. So
I like that.
I could easily see this one or Fable delayed, either one.
Yeah. That kind of makes me question my Clockwork pick because I was trying to like get ahead of the holiday rush, but also I think Xbox thinks there's something to be said about after the holiday rush, like using that first week or two of December, which we're seeing across the industry this year has been heavily utilized, bro. Like there's been, like it's been little things as well, like Skyrim on Switch 2. Here's a new update for Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon. Here's a new update for Path of Exile 2. Here's a Marvel beat 'em up. Here's a new new Metroid game. Nintendo's using it, right?
Metroid.
Like, there's a lot. So I think December is no longer the sleepy month. Like it doesn't matter if it's award season or not. Like it's just like you're coming out. Like you got 2 weeks in December. You can come out then and Merry Christmas. So yeah, I think you're right. And that makes me balk a little bit at my Clockwork prediction. I was like, that could be a nice window for it. But Gears, I'm with you. It's probably toughest one on this list for me. Like I don't have like a safe bet on any of this. If I got Tom Warren living rent free in my head, I'm thinking about what he said. Like I've heard. It's actually on the way sooner. I'm thinking summer.
Ooh,
I think this might be like a June.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Because to me, I guess I'm thinking of at the direct, we've always been caught off guard by the game ahead of schedule. Like that's that soon. Like that's ready. And I feel Gears, from what we've heard out of everything on this list, is lined up the most because it's been the most quiet. So it's lined up the most to be the game that I think shows up and it's like, oh, this is actually coming soon. Like first half of the year energy, like, right before the Xbox showcase. Cause that's the other thing. Xbox likes to also drop games close to that showcase window.
You're right.
Which I always argue with. I'm like, that's really weird. Like you drop it and then you create a ton of noise for shit coming next. And like there's shadow drops, Game Pass now, like type energy. And it's like, but you just released something. But I do feel Gears falls into that window. I do think if like you're looking at your first half, as I'll talk about in a little bit here, because it's not really much of a tease, but Forza and Gears, I think, are your first half. Like I think those are your big market on the calendar.
I love that.
Like in April, May, or a May, June. Like I think those are the big ones to kind of open up their first half of the year.
I like that, to support you, not to cut you, but to support your theory. Gears of War Reloaded. I'm looking now. Gears of War Reloaded. It was August. I didn't even realize that it was August. So, like, I mean, as far as that, either summer, right before, after, or right before, or whatever, that fits in your proximity.
Yeah, there's something about summer I really like with the game. I like your holiday idea though, because I feel like co-op's it's got to be a huge selling point with this game, right? Like, get back that kind of Army of Two vibe. Bring that energy back a little bit. And there's no better time to do some holiday gaming than Gears of War in December. At the same time, you know what I wonder about, Cog? If this is a really co-op driven title, I'm gonna challenge the business a little bit here. This goes against Microsoft's money making ways. Does Joseph Ferris have any influence on this at all? Do we see a friend pass for Gears of War? I know this sounds fucking insane, but if it's a really co-op driven game, do we see a friend pass?
This is Microsoft Gaming, sir. Do you know where we are? Do we know? Listen, man. I mean, that would be awesome, but nah. Like you go buy that copy, bro. You go buy. We are the biggest publisher in gaming. Be fortunate that we're on your platform. We're on PlayStation. We're gonna let you play together.
Yeah,
and you're gonna buy the code.
I must just be in a good mood. I'm giving them a lot of nice benefits.
Yes, you're gonna wait. The best you will get, sir, is Play Anywhere on Xbox and Steam. That's the best we can do for you. And you too can go out with your friend. You can curb stop with Marcus and Dom together.
Yeah. Nice little summer, a little Q2 push for Game Pass, content and services, getting them trending upwards. Get it right at the end of that quarter. There you go. I'm in a business rationale. And it's not even about what I've heard about the development or anything. It's just straight up business here. You're right. Get that engagement up, sir or madam.
Yes.
All right, Cog. This is an easy one here. Forza Horizon 6. When's it coming? We kind of have an idea. What are we expecting?
I would like a little March, April. I would like a little March, April, just look, man, for me, it's going to be big. Like, it's probably the most anticipated. Like, Forza Horizon is my jam. This is the game that, as a person who came from arcade racers, it just resonated with me. And again, shout out to the Motorsport Bros. I respect y'all. Y'all paved the way. Y'all gave us the tech. But once we were able to turn off that road, go in our own direction, hit barns up, get secret cars, the seamless racing, the group team racing, Forza Horizon 5 was a movement. You had people who do not play car games getting together and saying, yo, let's get the squad together. Like, bro, we play. It's a shame that Halo came out because it did undercut the greatness of Forza Horizon 5. So now they've hit what I consider, the break glass emergency moment. It's not even an emergency. I mean, they're just cooking. But, you would think, okay, they would save Japan for another year when they're that. Like, bro, to go to Japan as a person who just came from Japan. And let me tell you, that's one of the most beautiful cities to see from a highway standpoint and elevated stuff. When you're going through Tokyo, you just see how the traffic movement in Shinjuku Square. Like, bro, like, I cannot wait to see classic Japanese locations and Akihabara and all these places replicated to authenticity. And then obviously, having Japanese cars and stuff like that. So I can't wait. This is going to be huge. I think ultimately it comes down to it's in a perfect spot because I was pulling for the first half. I felt first half Forza keeps it away from the madness of the holidays. And they are going to make hand over fist. Now, keep in mind also that this is, I believe this is one of them rare titles that is not multi-plat. Initially, we know it will come to PlayStation 5. I was surprised, but maybe because of the development schedule, it's a Playground's credit. They've got to deal with they got to deal with making a Fable game. So maybe from a studio standpoint, hey, we just don't have enough time to port. So we will say, okay, focus all on the Xbox and the PC versions. Make sure those run smooth. And another thing is Forza is extremely optimized game. That is a showcase game in terms of handhelds. Like I remember when I played the ROG for the first time, the Ally for the first time. And this is before the Xbox, so this is the debut. And they had Forza Horizon 4 as a test and Forza Horizon 5 as a showcase game. Like that is handheld powerhouse. Like this is one of those games. So yeah, I expect Developer Direct. They'll come out there. We'll go to Playground. They'll fly in. We'll see, shout out to my UK bros, see the offices, see how hard they've been working, see the connections and the release date, man. I would like to say, like I said, like that March, April, I feel that's a good window to kind of just say, okay, you know what? We're right before the summer showcase. We got a lot of good energy. We'll do some deal with some Japanese manufacturer. As far as I'm curious about the showcase car. That I am curious because that's a big deal for them. You know what I'm saying? True. I'm curious if it has Japanese sensibilities. But again, like I was saying, like I just came from Japan, so it's going to be a big moment for me. Like, this is probably the most excited I've been for Forza. This is the emergency break glass. We're in Japan. Bro, this is going to rock it out the socks. So I'm going to go like that March, April. If I had to commit, right, got in my head. Give them April just for a little bit, like an extra month. I think I think First Light just announced their release date. 007 just put their release date out. Not that
March.
Forza will control the situation here. So don't make it clear. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This will be the key launch title for them for the year. This is the one that the stakeholders care about. This is their money and their breadwinner right here.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the end of the quarter drop to kind of give you your last push over the line, kind of that Oblivion remaster feel to it of like, just get it out in time, that sort of thing. Or open the quarter that way, whichever way. I'm with you. Yeah, I think this is like a March game, an April game, something like that. I will admit, though, before this rumor, I was definitely thinking this could be like a holiday title. Like I thought, this is a huge one and maybe take that extra time to get a PS5 port going. But I think Xbox clearly was a huge beneficiary of the staggered release of Horizon 5. And I think they'll do the same thing with Horizon 6, though that wait will be significantly shorter. But I think if you're waiting on a PS5 port, I think it'll be announced next year, but I don't think it'll come out next year. I think as much as they want to get it out ASAP, I think it'll be a little bit of time. And it'll obviously confuse a lot of people. We'll get write-ins about it, and I totally get it. But I just think that with the post-launch support plans for this game, no doubt being crazy, and obviously them wanting to get it right, like this is one that they have to nail, because I think out of everything on this list here, this is the biggest game for them.
Yes,
like
this is the game.
Thing. Like we will talk about it like it is whatever. You know, it's not a sexy game to talk about on YouTube unless you're a Forza bro. But I think for Xbox, this is the one that they're looking at. They're marking on their spreadsheets, going, "How many million?" You know, like dream a little bit, wouldn't you? You know, 10+ million units in a month. Could we do it? Like, I think I could see a world where they're like thinking on that level. How many players are we going to get, rather? Because that's the only language they speak, but quietly behind closed doors. You know, this is the big one, and it's kind of the one that it's the responsible child in the family. I'm not really thinking about you too much. I think you got it on lock. I'll be very surprised if you don't. And the only reason I kind of look over my shoulder by like 1% is because of what happened with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I was very lax on that responsible child, and when you got it on lock, but those cloud servers were not it, and a lot of people went back to the original Flight Sim, and that was a shame to see, because I think this new one, in the 2024 edition, looked like an upgrade, and
they lost a lot of players for them to get back to where that now they are, but it took a bit.
Yeah, took them a while, right? And so we don't want to see Forza do that. So launching 2 games in a year is difficult. So I commend them for attempting it if Fable makes it out next year. But no doubt Forza is like priority 1 for them above all of these, including Fable.
Hell yeah.
That leaves us with one more first-party game to really assess here. It's not necessarily on the list for everyone, but you and I have talked about it extensively, Cogs. We look at it and we go, it's got to be time for you. You've been kicking around, talking about partnerships, bringing Obsidian into your little mess, studio division, reports of crunch and development hell. You were just a little game on the Xbox Arcade, man, and you got all this money and something happened. State of Decay 3. Time to, as Cog would say, step to the front of the congregation. Cog, is it even getting talked about this year in 2026? Do we see it at all? And if so, when do you think this thing comes out?
That's a good question, but this is the $1 million question. This is the weirdest studio development cycle I have ever seen. Just for recap, when was the last time did we see it in 2025? I'm bugging. I can't even remember.
We saw
it right?
Before, I believe. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we didn't even see it this year. It wasn't at the showcase. How long has it been, bro? It's to the point now. It's just like there's a part of me that says
2020, I think, or 2021.
Yikes. There's a part of me that says it has to come out at some point because they've been laboring, and that the cost. I'm just talking about the cost of it not being out. But if you're not, it's almost at a tough spot. To me, it's like if it's not ready in the first 6 months of 2025, where do you put this game? You know what I mean? And I'm nervous. I hope your prediction is right, because I would love to see it at the Developer Direct as a side of like, I love this game. Like this game, I fell in love with it immediately. You know what I'm saying? The second one had a couple little issues, but they really kept, improving and doing stuff with it. But this just feels like development hell. Like, I don't know what is going on with Undead Labs. So gun in my head right now, I'm not feeling confident. I'm going to push it back one more time and say, don't see you in 2026, and get you ready for the 2027 lineup. And this way you solidify that. That's what I'm going with right now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I see it, but I just have no confidence in Undead Labs right now. And I love that studio.
Yeah. We got an update 2 months ago on Reddit. I was picking this one up before the show. Where they were talking about, what's going on with the game on the Reddit, and one of their developers responded saying that our daily progress is amazing, which is not much, but they said also in a follow-up that we are so close to flooding the channels with great stuff, and I hope y'all will stick around, because people were kind of expressing their frustrations. This was 2 months ago. So
2 months ago, I think I know who it is too. I think I know the developer's name, who that is. Yeah. I think I know exactly, because he's very. If I had to guess who it is, that person is extremely active to shut down false stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I hope I'm wrong, bro. I would cheers of joy if I saw it at the developer direct and they're like, hey, 2026, it is coming out. So what you got, man? What you think?
When it comes to the quality of this thing, I'm not optimistic just because of that development cycle. And what they showed in 2024 looked solid, but definitely, again, we're trying to raise the expectation for Xbox here. It definitely gave me that 70, 80 energy, not like we're really here to show you what's up and this is going to be 85 plus. I love the first State of Decay. The second one, I did not hang around for as long, but I know they did a great job giving it updates, which was really impressive. So this third one needs to be a splash for that community as well. Like that community's definitely been waiting so long and have hung with all those updates. It's why that community is so big. And it's like that step forward for them needs to be big. It can't be like a Payday 2 to Payday 3 situation where you kind of just feel stuck in the mud or it's a regression. So this needs to be pretty significant. I say all this because even though that's all laid out, I'm a little more optimistic that it gets shown off because if you're talking about flooding the channels soon, as of 2 months ago, I feel like that kind of lines you up for a developer direct. Show up. Here's what we got. This is the one I don't think commits to a date, though. I think,
of course,
this is the one that I think Hellblade 2 did this to us during the developer direct, where we were like, oh, it's definitely getting a date. We'll see you in whatever. And they're like, not so fast. And because we were confused, we're like, we've seen so much of this game. Surely you've got a date for us. And that's kind of the mindset I've fallen into, as you can tell, with Clockwork. I'm like, we've seen so much. You're going to have a date next time you show up. But they might hit us with the in due time. with State of Decay, though, I feel like with how little is out there and them just showing up would be a win unto itself. Like, okay, it's here. And we get like a nice deep dive and actually see true gameplay. That's a win. And they just go, 2026, like that's really it, just really broad so that they can delay very easily. And I think that's what they'll do ultimately.
Okay. I like that.
But I think it's time for an update on State of Decay. It's that slot in the developer direct I'm least confident about because it's the most risky. It's also the one I could see being chewed up is like, there's actually not a fifth game, but rather this fourth game is out and Ubisoft is the fourth game. Like, with Sands of Time remake. So it's the one I'm iffy on. I'm not going to come out bold and be confident about it, but it feels like, we saw the game in 2024, nothing in 2025. They respond saying like, we're making amazing progress and we're going to talk soon. Basically, I feel like I got to see it, the developer direct, man. If you're not there, I'm going to have questions, right? It's going to be that Fable time where, like I talked about, like, Fable starts to get a little too quiet for me and we don't get an update on like follow that developer direct. And Fable will provide updates this summer. Like if they, that's the type of silence that gets loud. And I think State of Decay and Fable are walking that fine line. State of Decay is definitely, its time has come. And I think you got to be at this direct, man. It's gotta be time. If you're a 2027 game, bro, that's really bad.
What about this? What about they don't show up at the developer direct, but they give you a gameplay reveal at the showcase, and with no date, but give you a game like a due time. They hit you with the due time.
Yeah, that's more realistic. I think what you're saying is probably what will happen. I just think they're going to get buried. Like I really do. Like no one's going to give a shit. Unfortunately, even if it looks good, like that's just what I've just accepted. That's the nature of these showcases. Like how many showcases have we walked out of? And you see a ton of stuff you love, and you can name maybe like 2 or 3 games that stand head and shoulders above the rest if you're lucky. And they stand head and shoulders above the rest in a good way. I'm saying, like, I'm sure this will look good, but developer direct is perfect for this type of game because it needs that exposure and attention on a very individualized personal level. I don't think it's the cute little indie gem on this little Xbox marketplace that's burgeoning. Like it's not in that pocket anymore. It's a seemingly AAA game that's been in development for a while. It needs big attention and now. So I think if you bury it in a showcase, even if it's like a show opener or closer, I don't think it makes that same impact as it could at developer direct. I think it needs that kind of special attention. So I'm going based off what I think the project needs from what I read online and my interpretation, but that's not always how it shakes out. As we've seen many times before, it's just like, that's like, well, we would love to do that, but we can't. So
no, you're right. You're right. You're on fire because that title absolutely needs that. It cannot be buried within a plethora of other releases as a also, you know what I mean? Like it has to be, okay, what is the essence of what State of Decay is? Let the developers talk and let them, sell it, show the gameplay, show the mechanics, show the things you can do and get that. No, you're right. You're right. It does need the developer direct. I will give you that.
Yeah. It just feels that way, bro. So
I hope so.
We'll see. And it could be a big direct. It could just be a nice 4-gamer. Either way, I think it'll be a great show. I have no doubt about that.
For sure.
That's a look at Xbox's 2026 in the first party lineup. Are there any other games that I've left out here in our conversation, Cog, that you'd like to hit before we move into our anticipation for the business in the terms of pricing and whatnot?
No, those are the heavy hitters. You know, we got the burger, fries, and shakes, and everything else associated. You know what I'm saying? So we nailed that one.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's move into talking about the business for 2026, right? The anticipation we have for things like hardware. To me, this is a big question mark because it's an anniversary year. We've heard Xbox talk for about a lot of the second half of this year, that they're doing a premium console. They're not walking out of the console game. Do we see as part of the anniversary celebration, maybe a showcase ender in 2026, summer showcase ender? Here's a look at Magnus.
Ooh, I say yes. I say we get the preview almost like they've always done this before, like a Scorpio, like a chipset kind of thing, where we just get the generality of what they're shooting for. We don't get the physical box and the finished product. Right. Remember it destroys monsters. You know what I'm saying? And you get Jason Ronaldo to come out. You get all how they do. Then they're going to come out there. They're going to start talking about what it means to be Sarah's going to come out, what it means to be Xbox in the future, and premium device. And they're going to give you some concepts. And we go like, okay, we're getting a better idea of what this new full screen experience is, what a multiple storefront. We want to give gamers, I could see the BSPR points right now. We want to give gamers choice. We want to give you the more powerful hardware, this, that. And they're going to say like something to the effect like, they want to assure us. They're going to be like, and you bring your entire Xbox library, with you so that they kill the narrative of the ROG Xbox Ally X, which is, you're just a PC with you know what I'm saying, with certain Play Anywhere titles and stuff like that. And I think that's what they do. So I don't think we get like a full Steam machine kind of thing when you see the whole product and all that. You're going to get concepts and say, look forward, because they want to assure, they know the base is terrified. They want to assure the base tangibly that hardware is coming for sure in 2027, and you're doing a prelude, because let's be honest, Maddie, they've been talking way too much about hardware, premium. They know this base is teetered on the edge of like, we don't care, we don't believe, you know what I'm saying? But they've got to do something. So that's my prediction in conjunction with because obviously Jason Ronald. Listen, the person I do believe 100%. Is Jason Ronald. He actually is building things. He's actually the guy that created the Series X and that. So when he was outside was BBC in London and all that, maybe like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Yo, we're talking about the 25th anniversary. We're talking about the future of the device, and we're talking about legacy. Stay tuned." He's the one I'm like, okay, it is something's going on, and I think it'll be a preview / prelude to what they got going for 2027.
Yeah, I can only signal boost your thoughts because you have exactly the same approach I do. Like it's, I think, a matter of necessity for them. And fortunately, they've also established that kind of template of like, here's the tech, like a techie show off of it, as in like it's the code name and nothing beyond that. But that sort of showing off of the next console feels, or whatever you want to call it at this point, feels necessary because they keep trying to convince people that they're doing it. And there are people like myself who are like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't really believe it because you guys kind of walk back on your plans constantly. And the latest hardware you released was in a partnership because you got scared shitless of a competitor. So do you really need hardware, especially with how you behaved at this Black Friday where people like to make money and you didn't seem to want to make money on your hardware at all or get people into your base? So what is the priority there? So I feel if they're going to talk hardware and show it off, it's got to happen next year to sort of set the tone. Be like, okay, Like we're excited to talk about the next generation, to celebrate our anniversary. Boom. Like the stars kind of align on their needs, where their fans are at, what year it is for Xbox, and kind of marking that with this sort of announcement. Like it all comes together nicely, where I would be very surprised if we're on the other end of the year and we don't know on an official level about Magnus. What details they give is a whole other conversation, because there's the sticky situation of talking too early and making this sound incredibly unappealing off the rip, right? Like there is this moment where they could just like say one wrong thing. One button is kind of the co-pilot button. I always go back to it. That's all people need to see. Be like, oh no, like I am curious how they frame it, because do they frame it as something new and innovative, or do they try to settle the masses by basically framing it like a console? And then when it's time to talk and show more, exploring that further and being like, here's what it really does. So that stuff will be very interesting to see. And I wonder with that, do they talk about their handheld? Do you think that this is like sort of a, this last year we launched the Xbox Ally, and in partnership with Asus, we're taking that to the next level. Here's what we've been working on,
I would love it. I just don't feel optimistic. I think they still need more time. It's not that they don't want to. I still think they need more time. I think we got to remember, Asus, remember what I said when we did our other holiday episode in terms of Asus to me represents the beta testing for what they're trying to do. And now they're going to keep improving. I will give them credit. Every time I launch my Ally, it's some new update, it's some new feature. So they're still learning and data driven. So if I had to guess, my current prediction is it still will come, but it will come towards the beginning, middle of the Magnus gen. Then we'll get it. But unfortunately, as we and you both described, PlayStations will be out by then, or will be, close with Project Canis. They're rumored, console/handheld thing that most likely will be synergistic, if I had to guess, in a Series S, Series X kind of way, which I feel is a dominant threat to Xbox ambitions in that space. So because the thing is, PlayStation doesn't have to worry per se. If the rumors are true, they are going to be trying to do their own storefront and get people in, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as the PC stuff. So they've got a whole different another approach. So as much as I want that Xbox dedicated, I think it's going to be Magnus will be focused on just their core thing. They ain't getting rid of this Asus just yet. I might upset you even more. I think you may get more OEM hardware or an OEM guy. They'll be like, hey, well, I think that's too fast. I mean, they'll be like OLED already or something like that. I'll be pissed off at that. Like, bro, I just got this
8 months later.
And you know what? But you could be right, because Asus has been known every year to be like Ally X, this, that. Like they've been known.
I was just joking, but man, that would suck.
Bro, you actually are on fire with that. They every year almost do some form of an upgrade, which would piss me off if they do the OLED version of the Ally X.
$1,000 got to turn to $1,200 real quick.
I could easily see an OEM partner saying they have their Ally X version this year. I mean, 2026. Like how Claude, all these other devices, some other Lenovo, some partner. Yeah. I could see that with a handheld. You know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Yeah, totally see that.
What would that offer versus the Xbox Ally, do you think? Like,
it'll probably be chipset, power and functionality for the super hardcore enthusiast because there's hardware already that's, superior. So I forgot that device that everyone's telling me about that they love more than the Ally X. And I could totally see, because remember, Microsoft is they're moving away from hardware in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So where it's not as dominant, you know what I'm saying? So I could totally see them drop. This is the only me and King fight, but this is the only prediction. He's convinced that there's going to be hardware, like Xbox hardware from an OEM party. He convinced that Xbox is not doing first party device. I disagree with that. I feel Magnus will be a first party. They will do that, but he's convinced that there will be something from OEM device partner from a console standpoint in 2026, which could happen.
I would like to see from them, and I don't think this is a huge ask. I would like to see from them something of the equivalent of a PS Portal, and because you can easily do that with OEM, like they worked with Logitech. I'd like to see them run back that partnership. That was, I thought, the G Cloud gaming handheld is great. That was my portable Xbox, and I get the whole this is an Xbox thing, but I do think the PS Portal benefited greatly from being a PlayStation aligned device. Like it sold really well when it wasn't even that great for people because it was a great price and the use case was pretty obvious. It's like, this is my handheld PlayStation that lets me stream games. And then they provided updates, as I've talked about numerous times, but I'll bring it up again, that Xbox already has, where it's like, oh, hey, here's your PS Plus library. You can just stream any of these games. Boom, no problem at all. Xbox already has all that. And I get their mindset of like, well, you can just do that on your phone. But it's like, my phone's not that. Oh, you can do it on like your ROG. I don't want to use my bulky $1,000 handheld to stream games. Yeah, I want to download games on that. I think if they hit you with a streaming device that's like a dedicated Xbox, and it doesn't have to be straight up from them, though I think it would benefit them if it was just their branding, their company, you know, but that's more idealistic. But I think if they committed to something, it would be nice to see a streaming handheld from them. I think that would satisfy a need that exists within the Xbox ecosystem. It would allow you to, just like the PS Portal, you don't need a PlayStation 5. You just buy your Portal. And as long as the games support that streaming, just buy your Portal and stream your games. And I think Xbox having a dedicated device, that remember we had that rumor of like the dongle, right?
Yes.
I feel like Xbox should still do something along those lines, like a streaming kit. Like I'm glad that they partnered with Amazon and whatnot, and they've got the Fire Stick. But I feel like a dedicated device communicates something, right? It's a message. And if they team up with someone like a Logitech and run that back for a cloud streaming handheld as part of this, you know, commitment to hardware, I think that could be something that they do, just on the OEM front, at least. You know, we'll see. But I'm with you that hardware should show up next year. And I am of the mindset that Magnus is them. Like, I don't think it's anyone else. I think it's them. I think it has to be them. I don't think it feels like a new generation if it's not from them.
I 100% agree. And yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. So yeah, as far as the stream, yeah, I think your theory of a potential dedicated streaming device, I could see them playing with that with their branding on it, and like something similar to a Portal or stuff like that. Because one thing for sure, they love talking about cloud growth and how it's been improving for them. So, you know, that's a synergistic thing I can see. And I would assume that's low lift from a hardware standpoint because it's not going to be native, right? It's going to be streaming like a portable. So yeah, I could see that. That I'll concede to you and I'll concede to King if they're going to consider that the hardware that's Xbox branded first party in 2026. Yes, I could see that kind of device.
Yeah. Like, and it comes with the whole ecosystem. Like you can pop trophies on the PS Portal. You can go to your dashboard. You can do everything. Like it's PlayStation 5 in your hands, but it's all just streamable, which for a lot of people isn't useful. But for me, who's like just wants to play those same games in a different room and handheld, it's really awesome. So I would love to see Xbox kind of bring that to the forefront without telling me buy a backbone for your phone. You know, like I would like to have
we like to keep our phones to
that. Yeah, exactly. All right. Last bit of business anticipation I wanted to talk about was really added to the list late this year. Price jumps. Some in their control, it feels like, some out of their control. When we were given some slaps on the wrist last week talking about their 2025, the big one I leaned into was the sort of the jumping of prices. You know, here's a little Game Pass price jump. They were very eager was the term I used. Like, can we go? Can we go now? $80 for video games, only to cite market conditions on why they knocked it back down. Well, people forget quickly. Other competitors might step in like GTA and be like, we'd like 80, 90, who knows what from you. And Xbox might offset and be like, well, the door's open again. Do we go for it? I don't think they're scared of brand damage anymore. I think they're at the point of like, we're fucked anyway. Like, let's just, what do we need? Let's just go for it. So, Cog, do you anticipate price jumps in hardware and software from Xbox in 2026?
Great question. I'll go with the easy one first.
Sure.
Definitely software. When they were aggressive with Outer Worlds 2, they couldn't wait to pounce on that whole market condition, especially that the precedent that Nintendo set, right? Yeah. So that just showed me that they miscalculated with the wrong title. Right, and it's like that's not the title to do it with. But the damage was already.
Duty's able to not be Modern Warfare back to back because they were like, we'll get 80.
Yeah, we'll get 80. We'll get 80. We'll get it eventually. The question is, who do they put it on? You can't put it on Halo because it's not a full new game and a full release, and it's no multiplayer. I mean, yeah, I know. You could be right. You could be right. That's the game. People would not have this.
Bros in your wallet now.
Yo, good call. I didn't even think about. And that's
I just picture Phil in the boardroom. I've got the perfect audience to play on.
Bro, it's true because
those suckers don't have a Gran Turismo coming for years. Get them while it's hot.
That's their premier game. Yeah. That's the world. That is a global release game, from a standpoint of Europe loves it. Japan's going to love it, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
Mario Kart World. I mean, could you say?
Oh, yeah. You know it. Yeah, you know it. It's definitely Forza. Why did I think about that? Yeah, it's definitely because it does. So Mario Kart is the president of imitating Forza, and they're going to say stakeholders going to be like, "Wait a minute, this is our genre. We're the definitive open world racing game with real car manufacturers." Oh yeah, I can already see the boardroom now. Yeah. It's Forza Horizon. 100% nailed by Maddie. Yeah. That's it. And who really gonna say, "Yo, we not doing that to Forza"? Yeah. We're not copying Forza. Yeah, right. People were saying all that with Mario Kart. We saw what happened.
Yeah,
that's definitely going down.
I think Racing Bros. I mean this with no offense because you guys aren't casual, but you're on the level of sports games where you're kind of the hardcore like us do not engage with you heavily, so you're kind of in your own world. But there's a lot of you like a sports game. And I think, unfortunately, you guys are going to tee up what is going to be a big change for Xbox.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're going to be like, let's add this one in here.
Bro, and to your point, I was told with the motorsport, bro, even though maybe they didn't sell well from a, unit standpoint, they're the most heavily, they buy the car packs, they buy the steering wheels, the ones with the pedals. Bro, that is the most rich fan base.
Yeah, it really is. I had a friend who was showing me Gran Turismo because I was like, what's so special about these games? Bro, I've never really, when I thought about it, I was like, I've never really played Gran Turismo, but like, it's such have you played these? They're like very intimate with cars. Like it's like emotional, and like, obviously I was like ripping my friend for it. I was like, bro, you're going to like fucking stick it in the gas tank. I swear. They sound like how this game presents its shit. Like,
it's a sexy thing.
So beautiful. It is like they sexualize the cars. But anyway, like he's like showing me the game. All here is like, and he's like fucking with his wheel and like he's hitting the stick shift and shit. I'm like, bro, did you pull out the wheel? Do I hear pedals getting hit right now in your living room? Like, what's going on?
Yes.
But yeah, that's like, he's like, yeah, what? Like, it's standard for them, dude. This is the normal thing. Like Jimmy Champagne's got the wheel and the pedals, bro. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah, like it's a whole thing. Yeah, these Racing Bros go hard. So I think they know y'all got the money. They're like, we see the DLC purchases. We see the engagement. We see your wheels.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, 100%. Myself of it. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's the first. It's going to be the $80 game. That's because they know it. They know it's their number one joint. And then we've already got the data for PlayStation. It's a go. It's a go. So yeah, they'll break that. As far as your other questions, market conditions, right? As far as because we got the RAM crisis going on with AI buying up all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then they've just been so disrespectful with the Series X as far as they do not care. They're not even discounting on Black Friday.
Yeah.
That's different energy.
Yeah.
So if we get another tariff situation or some other RAM situation, I could totally see, here we go with another one. You know what I'm saying? Another $50 or something.
Yeah. And it feels like this next jump will be a little bit out of their hands and just I think a lot will fall prey to it, but Xbox seems to be the Band-Aid ripper of like, all right, let's just get this out of the way. Let's go first. Let's just do this.
Especially when every quarterly we get hardware decline by 20%. They don't care. They're like, yo, we're going to just leave it where it's at and we're not taking no losses on that. So the few that we sell are going to be at top dollar. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of energy they want to me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing I worry about with that price jump is I could see it happening at like a bad time. Like, you know why it's going to happen, but it's going to be like post-developer direct, like, whoa, what a show. Yep. Hey, I didn't think that was coming that soon. What about Shadow Drop? Whoa.
Yep.
February rolls around. Xbox has increased prices of their consoles. You greedy fucks.
Yo, and that's what pisses me off with the Forza situation, because I'm like, everyone's gonna be so hyped, Japan, and then we're gonna see the price and we go, here go the rake, right there, right there. Yeah. Now the one I'm gonna hold on to, this is the last one.
Sure.
I hope I'm wrong. I could be so wrong with this. Please give us a whole year of no Game Pass increase in 2022. I'm gonna hold on to hope that there will be none.
That's too foolhardy of you. You know. I feel like that's feasible. They did a 50% increase, dude. Like, bro, it was pretty massive. Like, they kind of just went for it. They went like, this feels like a future-proof bump to me. Like, now and forever. Not forever, really, but you know what I mean? Like, now and for a while.
Now
this should be it. Because it seemed to be accounting for the Call of Duty blunder that they had.
Yes.
So unless COD's situation changes dramatically again, which we don't know,
which kind of did with the recent news of what they just put out, but I'm going to hold on to my sliver of hope that 50%, like you said, was to future-proof them. That's where they're comfortable putting it in there for that price. So yeah, we'll see. So that's the only thing I'm holding on to. No
Forza feels like the $80 game. I'm naive with this stuff. I got to be honest, because I feel like it's such a shot in the foot, and I see that the lowest price games are being rewarded in a way where like fans are really reciprocating. Like, hey, not like thank you for this low price tag, but hey, this looks good and the price is right. I'm going to pick this up. Whether it's not even just indie games, but you know, obviously Expedition and Mafia stick out in my head as these games that are getting rewarded. Oblivion Remaster, one of the best selling games of the year, one of the highest grossing games of the year too. That's also important to note, because it's like, these games are making a lot of money. So when I look at that stuff and I'm like, do you really want to jump for $80? Like, are you sure? Like, I get it, you know, like that it would, dude, $10 more times this many customers. Like, that offset's crazy. We just got to swing it across the fence. Like, well, imagine what Nintendo's doing right now with Mario Kart 1, 2, 3. Like, I know, like, I get why it's tantalizing for, of course, the boardroom, but I get why even for the developers a little bit, they're like, this would offset so much pressure. Like, our sales projections would be up here, like, oh my God, to here. It's a little more, it's a little less seismic. So I get the allure, but I just feel we're in that moment where the games that are treating their audiences the best and providing authenticity and providing genuinely good content and pricing it fairly, where you feel like you're getting a deal, are the ones that people show up to play right now, especially in today's times. I think you got to lean into that. You got to go against the grain a bit and be like, yeah, this is if you're in India, a $30 game. Let's go for 20. Like, let's go for 25. Like, let's undershoot. So when people are like, this is a 20, what gets the conversation started more online? When we start to see the tweets and the posts and Reddit and videos and shorts and TikToks, and this game is X price. That was literally everything for Expedition. I would put money on it that as great as Expedition 33 is, it does not catch on nearly as much if it is not a $50 game, right?
I agree.
It was a huge, huge, huge part of its success. So I know I'm overstating my point, but I look at all of that and I'm like, can't these companies not, even with stakeholders, shareholders, everything, take a look at that and go, guys, I get it. But like, if we jump, we're going to sell less and make the same amount, if anything. As at 70, at least we have a chance to sell a higher volume of units because it's kind of the norm. I just don't see people jumping for these price tags outside of particular communities. I think Xbox made a mistake last year not leading with Call of Duty. And I say that, by the way, knowing what Black Ops 7 is, I never thought of this until I said it out loud. There is a world where they size these two up and went Outer Worlds is the better game. That's like worth your money. And like, we'll put $80. Black Ops 7 was terrible. And that would have been a whole other talking point of like, this is what you're charging $80 for?
$80 for it.
Yeah. But from a brand recognition point of view and the kind of guaranteed buy-in, Call of Duty is something you can lean on. Forza is something you can lean on. I think it's those franchises that'll lead the charge. There's games that are on this list that we're looking at for 2026 that have been in development for a stupid long time. Fable, State of Decay, Clockwork. Those three I look at. I mean, it's been forever since Gears has launched, Coalition has launched the game. Halo. All these games to me kind of got that $80 stink on them where I see a rationale for all of them I think in the case of Fable, Clockwork, and State of Decay, it's like necessity. Like you guys have not shipped something in a while. Make them pay up.
80 on State of Decay.
Yeah.
That's smelly right there, bro. Yeah. I don't know if they should do that, bro. They are. Let's see. Let's see.
Here's look. I could be wrong. To be fair to State of Decay, I am putting it in the bag, right? Like I'm putting it in the group of all of these. It could be in that same window of like a Hellblade, a South of Midnight, where it's a lower price, and that changes the whole situation. You know, State of Decay being a lower price would be nice. I'll remove it just to be fair, but I think Clockwork and Fable are going to push that limit a little bit. And I'm like, if they can, then why can't Halo and Gears?
I will give some optimism here.
Please, because I was feel coming in like, no, they can't. But then as you kind of laid it on me, I went, damn, they kind of can.
Forza, you can, right? Forza Horizon 6, you can. But I do feel the positive part about the Outer Worlds 2 debacle, where the pullback, was that I'm looking at their list now for this year. Like Ninja Gaiden survived that. Ninja Gaiden was like, yeah, we're done. You know what I'm saying? They could have easily threw that, because technically they're claiming Ninja Gaiden 4 as a first party title. Like that's their baby. They're, it's an adopted thing, but whatever. Right. You know, say we got that. I'm looking at Gears Reloaded. They couldn't, because Gears Reloaded was a remake, and okay, fine. Oblivion, we couldn't, because obviously it's a remake, and I thought that was a fair price. You know, that they did that. Doom, they could have pulled it.
Yeah.
They could have pulled it on Doom. They didn't put. So to me, there's still sensibilities after they got their hands slapped. Like, what can you do that with? So I'm gonna be a little optimistic and say it will be Forza, but I think the others are safe, because minus Gears though. I give you this, especially if Gears has multiplayer. If Gears E-Day has multiplayer, and they're giving us a full suite, I'll give you Gears. They could try to throw their $80 nonsense on us and be like, all right, cool. But I'm gonna say Halo safe. I'm gonna get killed. I'm gonna say Fable safe.
Ooh, I don't think Fable safe, but I get where you're coming from.
I think they could kill that game. They could kill that game.
That's why I'm like, I think they're gonna,
which is typical Xbox fashion. But I think, like, man, like, yes, I get the fidelity is amazing, but it's a single player jump. It's a single, but no. Then again, didn't Fable? You're the Fable connoisseur. Didn't Fable have a cooperative? Oh no,
Fable 3 right. Did. Oh, I didn't think about that. Fable do the multiplayer.
Well, if they're doing a cooperative thing, you may be right. I take it back.
Co-op. Yeah, fuck, dude.
Yeah, I may be right. Then they're gonna try to milk, and then how good that game looks. That engine looks, take it back. Yeah, they're gonna pull it off, Fable. They're gonna pull it off, Fable. Yeah. I can see it. I can see them pull it off.
So I think my hope. Okay, I'll offset us once more. Then I'll provide optimism now. I'll try to. We're looking at Nintendo, right? They got away with murder, right? They got away with the $80 for Mario Kart. They had a little bit of a buy-in bundle. Like, it's actually a $50 game technically. Most people, okay, whatever. It's an $8 game. Yes. I paid $8 for it. Now, everything from that point was not 80. Every exclusive.
Exactly.
Pokemon, God bless, it wasn't. Donkey Kong wasn't. Metroid wasn't.
Right.
So there is, and to be fair, these are also games I'm talking about where I think Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that was only Switch 2. So that might kill my point here. But I was going to say these are variable games, like Switch 1, Switch 2 style games. Like that's what Metroid and Pokemon are. But anyway, the hope is that if Nintendo got away with murder and then didn't go for another kill, I guess, and be like 80 here and 80 here and 80 here, but kept these prices in check, then maybe Xbox will do a Forza 80 and some of these others will fall 70, 60. And that's possible. I don't think that's, to me, again, I look at Nintendo like they're the gaming business. They don't do everything right. I have a ton of shit I can play about with Nintendo, but they run a gaming business. They need to make the most on their software. So to me, they're the ones I look at and go, you're most likely to charge the most because you need the most from this content. Xbox has a bunch of different angles for their business, same as PlayStation and so on.
Yeah.
So I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's about how much is enough. Of course, that's where greed comes into conversation. But there is a world where if you look at Nintendo as the kind of baseline, you're like, all right, we're only one $80 game deep, and it might just be the selective ones like a Forza or a GTA. And we'll see if it ever becomes the norm. But
yeah,
I do think because of that $80 price tag, Mario Kart World invited a lot of criticism and hatred its way. I just think it's not worth it. Because if you look at the conversation online for Mario Kart World, it's not good. Like people are championing Sonic Racing, for example. Crossroads is awesome. Nice. People are championing all these different racers in the face of Mario Kart, because like Mario Kart they got updates in the terms of like tweaks, but like no new racers, tracks, and it's like the open world's still empty. Like, dude, it's people are like, this is what $80 got us. Like, it didn't really prove to be worth it. Like people, including myself, when we bought it, we're like, this is Mario Kart forever. And I'm sure there'll be a moment they're going to drop a ton of content. But when they celebrated Mario's like 40th anniversary at the Direct, and there was no Mario Kart World content at all, you got everything but that. Like, here's an update for Wonder, here's the movie, here's a theme park. But Mario Kart World, it was crickets. So I think it's just snowballed a bit, where if Forza shows up and it's $80, oh, this is the racing game. But then these car deals get a little out of control. These microtransactions get a little out of control. And, maybe content doesn't roll out too quickly. When you ask for that price, of course the demands increase. Like, I paid $80. I don't care that you a delayed game is eventually good. And, I don't care about that. I wanted it this week. I'm off this week. You told me it was coming out this week. So I took off this week. Like, that's the kind of, fussy gamer you're going to deal with. So if they want to invite that headache in, God bless. We'll see.
Like, you're more optimistic than me, because the thing about all those Mario Bros was chirping, but when that release dropped, everyone bet
they were in their carts.
Folded. And I'm telling you, that's Xbox's best IP. Dudes, you see how emotional they get, they sexualize with these cars, bro. It's over. They better than they gonna talk that one. It's like GTA. They gonna talk. You'll get the negative storm right before, and it shall pass when the release comes.
It definitely feels like the right game to pull the trigger on. It's Japan setting. Forza's kind of a hit.
You
huge
nailed it.
player base, coming off your best game yet in the terms of performance and reception. Like, pardon me, just everything's there. So yeah, it's definitely teed up to be the one. I'm just curious if anything else follows it at that price.
True. That's a good point. That's a good point.
We're also not considering, like, when I'm talking like early access and stuff, it's like, that was in like $100.
Oh yeah. Super collector's extra cheese edition.
Bill's got his nicest suit on. He's counting all the dollar bills this coming year. Like playing a piano with it.
It's gonna be a nice thing, man.
Yeah. Cog, that's 2026 in a nutshell. Is there anything else we want to add in here that we're anticipating for the new year? There actually is one game I just realized as I was asking you that we forgot. That multiplayer Halo game. The one that apparently is kind of there to offset the campaign.
Yeah, we forgot about that. That is a good thing. Yeah, man.
Right game too. Damn. I feel like
I know that could literally be. So we're gonna call it Halo. What is it? The Certain Affinity one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you figure they have to do something multiplayer, right? They have to, because that's that's the live service push. So yeah, that's a strong guess. And then I wonder also if it's going to be in proximity or around the same time as Campaign Evolved, right? To really double down on the what you call it. It could be a situation where if it's ready, I could see them doing the combo deal in November. If it's not, I could also see them doing a December thing. I
was thinking December.
Let the campaign eat by itself. Now, obviously November is GTA, and GTA will still have a good run, but I could see them saying to themselves, okay, we could push something out in December in there. So I forgot all about that. Yeah, they've been hinting about this game for a while. So the question just comes down to, is it ready? I think they would like it in 2026. So I'm gonna say for now, 2026, maybe a December pocket, as well.
Yeah, I like December as well.
Yeah.
Game Awards, Shadow Drop. I think this is Shadow Drop one way or another. Yeah, I just don't see it being this sort of like, we're announcing it and we'll talk more about it later. Okay. Is there anything else in 2026?
Just as much, there's going to be obviously, replaced, just announced as far as like, we'll see we're going to get a lot of indie ID at Xbox. We're going to get a lot of Game Pass deals. And I think we would probably do one major Xbox global publishing game that we didn't expect, kind of in the lane of Ninja Gaiden or something like that, maybe a Japanese partnership again, or some other big game that they associate themselves, similar to how they did with Expedition 33, where they feel really good about it. It's going to be in Game Pass. They're going to try to market it as their own title. They've been excellent the last couple of years with picking that discoverability of a game that looks high quality, and they associate it with the brand. So I think they're going to have a good presence there. They've been killing that. The last 2 years, they've been absolutely killing it with the publishing deals and ID at Xbox. So yeah, expect a lot of good indies, a lot of good stuff in between.
Yeah, that's
all these major leagues.
Yeah, they've been snipers on that front. So
yeah.
That's Xbox's 2026, ladies and gentlemen. The expectations have been set pretty high in the terms of game quality. I think it's fair to put it there, even if it's not always going to be delivered there. And then the anticipation for the business is a little bit low this year. A lot of unpleasant surprises, but maybe a little hardware talked about. We're keen to get your thoughts, so fire them off down below. No hashtag as always, because it's a holiday episode. We're offline, so we appreciate you all just spending some of your holiday season with us. Cog, this is technically the year closer for us. Yes. So if there's any time to get sentimental, now is the time, right? Where I think, when is this launch? Near the new year, on the new year? I don't know, but we're in that window. Another year Duke is wrapping up.
Yes.
We shall reflect a little bit here. What's on our mind?
Look, man, love doing Define a Duke with you. This is definitely one of my favorite, shows. It just kind of, shoot the ish with my man, you know what I'm saying? And just talk about what's going on. And look, it's been really fun. I think the Defining Duke community, our community, is one of the best. It truly is. The connection they have with us is truly top level. It's very respectful. It's very cool. Yeah. I do, when I get a chance, try to read the messages. I'm not as good as responding as I should be. I got to be better about that, jumping into Discords and stuff like that. My Discord's crazy. It's just so much. I got to mute it a lot of times. But, I don't think that I don't see. And as far as the comments and stuff like that, I do see it. I felt this year, dudes really, really rode for us during some tough times sometimes where, so we got some pushback from maybe, people who are not authentic with their motives. But, at the end of the day, look, it always realize with this thing, we put ourselves out there, right? We always, we're strong opinions, we're emotional sometimes, we say things, we all do that, right? But it's cool to see the people who actually listen to us know what our sensibilities are and actually defend and ride and say, no, we're not doing that. Cog and Maddie, this is what it is. That really was refreshing to see people do that, because when we realized we built such a strong connection, and I just love the comments that people are like, yo, I love the synergy between you two. Like you two, when you guys get together, like that is the most heartwarming thing. And it gets me through. You guys be surprised. It really does get me through. So I love the support. Yeah. We got a lot of cross synergy in all of our communities, which is super dope. You know what I'm saying? They see like the Realm of the Lords, Realm of the Dukes, all these different things we got going on. Obviously, I got Lords of, After Dark going on right now, which is a new adventure and stuff like that. But like, I'm very appreciative. So salute to all the Realm of the Dukes. And then also I want to shout them out. We've been gaming together, the meetups together, like all that stuff, man. Like I love community stuff and people getting back to having fun. That's all. Yeah. If there's one thing you get from me, I'm always about fun and having fun in gaming. And that is the thing I'm always going to promote. So yeah, another good year. And my mans, man, like it's cool to see your journey. You've got a lot going on. Huge year. Super proud of you. Like your year has been insane. Just what I liked also is the elevation to the high profile interview. Like you had the Fargo, you had the have a bro, you had my man Guillaume. Like, bro, you had a year, bro. Like this is high level stuff. So it's cool to see your evolution, your transition as a creator and stuff. Like I got that proud dad energy. Like, yeah, my boy killing that right there. Look at him do his thing. So salute to you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, salute to you as well. You don't give yourself enough credit for how you've elevated your own thing, bro. Like, I think I hear it a lot. Like, I just talked to a writer who we were interviewing for our game, and he's like a lot of people always hit me with the, like, I know you're crazy busy, but like, and I feel bad when I hear that, because it's one of those things where you're like, I'm more available than I think people realize. Like, I'm not that swamped, but the UCOG are always drowning and you always make time. And that's like the thing that's special about you. And you've taken on more than I could ever imagine. You know, you guys got a nice deal with Insider Gaming going. You guys are doing the right thing with Lords of Gaming, where I think it's sincerely like the best show out there. Like, you guys have something special. It's, again, I've said this a lot lately because it's true, and it's something I've talked about with our own game. When I talk to our own team, I'm like, people yearn for authenticity right now. Like, they want real people having real fun and being real with each other, as in like critical conversations too. Like, that's what people want. This world feels increasingly fake because the people who are running it are just not in sync with the people who are living in it. And so guys like you and what the Lords of Gaming are doing is really important work. And I love that now more than ever, you're really getting your due. Like, you have websites that are recognizing that and want to bring you into the fold, companies wanting to work with you guys. Obviously, with the opportunities here that we get with Duke, with interviews and reviews and that sort of stuff, it's well deserved. And so you got to give yourself more credit. You've had a great year too.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
We both kind of pushed ourselves this year, which is good. Yeah, it was a weird year for me. I think when I reflect, that's what I would define it as, because it was a year where I was kind of chasing my tail a little bit, where I recognized I made a lot of bad choices in the entertainment I was engaging with. And I really, like, it was the year I felt the most adult, I guess, in that time. I never considered time infinite. I'm way too existential for that, but I was like, okay, I really need to spend my time more wisely than I thought I already did. Like, when something's not clicking, I don't need to spend 50 hours with this thing. Like, there are games I will review and do that for. I don't need to do that with everything. I was looking at some of my most played games on like PlayStation. Like, I spent a lot of time on Lost Soul Side. That game fucking sucks, dude. Like, it was the only game that when I was on Discord, my friends, I could play and not pay attention to and just play something and talk to them. And I'm like, work harder to find a different game, bro. Like, this is bad time spent, you know? So it's like those little things I was inefficient with this year, which is a little out of character for me. I'm usually like razor sharp with that. So I had a lot of games that, like, I look at my top 10 game of the year. I'm like, this is a good list, but I look at the ones I missed. And I was like, I could have fit in a Dispatch. I could have fit in a Hades 2 if I was like proactive with KCD 2 and I had that empty November, and that's where those games would have fit in. Like, it was a little frustrating on that part. The other thing though is I'm just really thankful for our community too, man. Like, coming off of 2024, I was a little battle scarred, and you know, I remember talking to Jake about it a little bit because he gone through something a while ago where he was like, you kind of look over your shoulder for a while. And it takes a while to get comfortable, and then you never get too comfortable. And like, you have those moments where things kind of flash in your face when people are yelling at you. And it's like PTSD is a really strong word for it, but it is a level of that where you're like, shit, like, you know, you get that apprehension and that nervousness that comes with that territory. And I just want to thank the community for being really supportive. You know, I like that. I've always tried to incorporate this with any audience I work with, which is like, I try to make it where we can talk to one another openly. And I mean, sometimes I read things, I'm like, geez, you were really comfortable saying that. And like, we'll joke around with it. But also, like, I try to talk that way with my audience. Like, when I think like you guys are out of hand, like, I like that I can at least tell you guys, I think you're being out of hand. Like, when I read the comments and it's like all snowballing myself for COG, it's like, yo, I get it, but guys, like, come on, like, this isn't productive. And it's starting to look like a certain disingenuous seed was planted by one person, and it just kind of goes and goes. And so I just appreciate the audience being willing to listen and hear us out, even if they disagree, even if we disagree.
Yeah, even if they disagree. Yeah, absolutely.
So important nowadays that those types of things can exist, because it's just easier to get your opinion out more than ever. And it's not like how I think it used to be in the early days of YouTube, where you kind of just drop your content and there's no real back and forth. Right. Comment section, but there's no real back and forth. But with like social media and all these tools that we have, there really is that back and forth that's quicker than ever. So the responses and the exchanges are happening in a snappier way. And so I'm just thankful that we have a good community at our back that we can kind of lean on, trust to be there, that represents us as a team well. You know, that's a big part of it. I don't always agree with the whole, like, your community is who you are. And I'm like, to an extent, yes. Like, if they're just spouting like endless racist shit, you know, that's probably a reflection of you.
It's probably a reflection.
You know, but like, it's just like bleed in because you're growing and you're casting a wide net, and these people are creeping in and you're trying to handle them one by one. Like, I don't think that's a representation of you, but rather our
good
world.
Call out. Great
And
call
so I
out.
just am very appreciative that we do sincerely have this community that represents us well and is us. Like they get our jokes, they get our takes. Like I like when I read the comments that are like, someone like complains about a take I had and they're like, what did you expect, dude? Like this guy likes Danganronpa. Like, you know, it's written in a backhanded way. Like, what the fuck does this guy know about stories? But, and I get that, but it's like, you know, my taste and that's all I care about. You know me well enough to be like, dude, like, I'm not surprised when he says shit like that. You know, this guy, this guy went on a rant again. It's like, yeah, dude, he gives a fuck. Like he's unfortunately wired that way, you know, like, I like that people know us because it lets us comfortably talk without feeling like we have to overreach or talk in a way that's not human, where we're like explaining every thought process, every rationale. So
I agree.
A lot of love to the Duke audience. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Much love to the realm of the Dukes.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, obviously it was also, I guess, one other thing I want to reflect on. It was a spooky year for the Dukes for a moment there.
Yeah.
There was a moment we almost, like, I was talking with Colin, and we were like, bro, like, we don't know if this goes on. Like, not like we want to walk, but like, hey, Xbox is really shaking shit up, and obviously they don't care about us, like, which makes complete sense. Don't base your whole business around a podcast, but how do you talk about Xbox if there's no Xbox, right? And that was a moment where we were like, both you and I were talking like, what do we do? Like we don't want to walk away from each other as well. Like that was a big part of it.
That's a big part of the synergy.
An emotional thing where we're like, we got to ride this out. Like we got to, you know. But that was scary too. So we appreciate the community being there with us, because just on a numbers front, man, I don't mean to always talk that stuff, but like our numbers are up, dude. Like I look at our YouTube numbers, I'm like, there was a moment like in the first couple of years where I was like, like we started up, like a lot of LSM shows kind of go like this, they rocket out the gate and then they like that. And I've tried to talk to Colin about that with like a couple of the shows on our network where I'm like, you know, there's got to be a sustainment. And I'm very happy that our show has gained traction, because there's just so much to talk about in this world. I mean, I get why it's not always the greatest of gains,
the greatest thing, but it's always something to talk about.
I like that people are tuning in and we're seeing that consistent like 20K clip. Like that was something I really wanted to search for. Like I wasn't really looking for the biggest show of all time. I'd love for it to continue to grow, but I like that it is growing from my point of view, at least. That makes me really happy.
No, I want to add on to that. You just nailed it. How could I forget like the biggest moment for us in 2026 is obviously Xbox's decision making, right? It affected the brand. So we're like, hey, what's going on? And one of the more special moments was like when we had the conversation with the realm of the Dukes, and we were like, hey, you know, this is what we're thinking. And then people wrote in like the plethora of writings was like, I want to see you guys go away. I love YouTube podcasts. I don't care what you do. Let this thing right. Like, remember, because we were like, well, maybe we talk about subjects and different stuff and stuff like that. And people were like, yo, nah, bro, ride this out. Like, we're here for you. Maddie and Cog, we're here for, like, that was some of the most special stuff and heartwarming stuff. And I was like, man, this is love. This is love right there. That made everything else and all any other nonsense or, you know, people with false, you know, narratives and all that. That dispelled all that because people came out in force in defense of us. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. That's super dope.
That's the importance of the commenter that I kind of define as like the edgy anime character who kind of doesn't silent type, doesn't say much, but then suddenly they're needed. And here comes the comment like, I don't comment ever, but
yes.
And it's like, damn, that person stepped outside. Let's go.
Bro, I saw the bat signal go up internally. And the silent people who love us, because let's be honest, people who love us, they listen and they're enjoying the content. It's usually, you know, the vocal minority that want to get their balls off crazy or disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? But it was like gang, when the signal went up, Duke gang was like, nah. We not having any of that. Like these are the guys. And I was like, oh man. Teary moment. I was like,
it was special. It really was. We were very thankful for that because I try to let the audience know, and it sounds like you're fishing for compliments, but I hope it doesn't come across that way. It means a lot when those things come through because they really are fuel for our rationale on like how we approach things. Like if you guys are liking it, it's important to know that when we get those chain episodes where like back to back to back to back to back, it's like fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck that. Like it's like, oh my God, bro. Like it's like, what are we doing? And obviously there's times like I've shown up at the show and like Cog and I wrap up and I was like, I didn't do great that episode. Like I don't feel good about that. It's funny because sometimes those episodes I get like no complaints. I'm like, okay. Sometimes you wonder if you're just self-conscious, but
Yeah, it happens. I remember I went through it too with the Joy. I forgot one of the episodes, and then it just so the timing happened that the next episode you couldn't make it, and I had to have a talk with the audience. And Hogan have to be on. I was just like, hey, let's have a discussion about it. And I brought in one of the things I love that we do and you do as well is we don't run from like the opposite take. Right. And we'll pick the write-in, as long as it's respectful, that is clearly the opposite take of something that maybe we are passionate about. And I remember that write-in, and the dude, he said, Cog, I love the way you I was surprised you picked my question. And like, cause you do it all the time. He was like, Maddie, I was mad at, what are you talking about with da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And you picked that write-in. Yeah. No, yeah, that was one. To mine, I was thinking about the Guillaume joint too. You know what I'm saying? The Charlie Cox joint, you know what I'm saying? In my joint, I'm thinking about exclusives or whatever. And I remember like, people like, yo, he actually picked that question that was going at him so crazy. And then we just have that talk, right? Like, hey, this is what I was thinking. Here's my rationale here. And regardless to what, like, I felt like that respect level of that dialogue is so important. And I love that we do that. And I think we get a lot of respect for that. Because let's be honest, a lot of shows will run from that or ignore that or not pick that.
Yeah. It's a problem with a lot of I think companies and people nowadays is running from that and just pretending it doesn't exist. And I think all people want is to be heard and to understand. They don't handle it the best. I'm not talking about our audience, and that's just from what I read online or even sometimes in my own comment section. Like, I don't think it's handled the best, but I think when there's an understanding and there's a conversation and it's healthy and it's explained, I've never really had it go south where if I've had like a few, I call them sit downs in my audience, usually about like what's going on in my life and just like thanking them for something or something like that. But like, I've never had those sit downs go south for me where I'm just like, hey, here's where my head's at. It's like been tough lately. I'm sorry if you don't think this has been good. And here's what I'm doing in the future, yada, yada, yada. It's always been like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like, and I appreciate you doing this. And usually people are more receptive and supportive of you because you can be like, like I did last year. Hey, I made a mistake. Like I didn't expect it to ever go like this, but it still started with a choice on my end that was a fuck up. And even if it was a professional fuck up, right? It's like, that still is on me. And I think people admire that quality a lot more because, again, it comes from a level of being authentic. Like, I feel too many people try to have the invulnerability cheat code on in life. Like nothing hits them. Nothing
hits them.
I don't think you get through this career unscathed. Like,
absolutely, bro.
One point or another for something.
Can I interrupt? That was happening to me. But the biggest thing for us was kind of like, yo, like we work so hard. Obviously, I on podcast, we came from nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have any industry ties. We never came from an IGN. I came from paying my way to an Xbox showcase for for a fan fest for the hope of being to see an E3. That was my dream, right? Yeah. So I remember, like, bro, we used to buy the E3 tapes, right? We couldn't go. And we used to buy, and then also the dream was like, man, how dope would it be to go to Tokyo? I feel like that's never going to happen. And to get that thing popping off and to get the community to rise up, bro, they had me dressing up and all this foolishness. I suffered. I suffered. Crocs, Naruto, they had me dressing up as Rock Lee and all these things. And I'm like, look, the community loves us, right? And to see the LSM community get behind it and instigate, and I'm like, oh my God. Micah would tag me. She's like, Kyla was like, what the hell do they have you doing, bro? And I'm like, look, it's all for a goal. We're helping Red Ed, bro. We funded on our own from our own communities to get to Tokyo. So the hurt to see when we get out there and, people taking pictures with us, they're shills. I was like, no, what? Like, it was just weird to me. I was like, wow, I thought people would be like so, galvanized and positive. Then I saw the narrative, but to your point where I was getting at is I couldn't take the invulnerability right. And I had to explain to people like, yo, for those that don't know, our community got us there. No one paid for anything. Like, this is all for all. So to hear that explanation and to see people go, no, we're not doing that to Cog and those guys. Like, that's authentic. Meant the world. So shout out to the Realm of the Dukes for that, because I saw people doing that, and that meant a lot. And we did address it, and everything was smoothed over. But it was a funny little brief period where we had our F up, so to speak, by taking a picture, and it was just like it got blown into these astronomical proportions.
Yeah. It reminds me of the time I talked to Jaffe, and I think that came up. It was a different time it came up with the picture.
Yes.
And I think Jaffe asked me if like, would you take a picture with like Sarah Bond? I'm like, I'm not gonna be a fucking asshole to her in person. As I said to him, I was like, I'm not gonna be like, fuck off, like you're gonna ruin my cloud. Like I'm not probably gonna post it, but I'm not gonna be like a dick to her in person and be like, hey, human being, fuck off. Like you're not my public image. Like you're not the devil. Right. You work at a company, but like you're probably a nice person. Like I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm sure they don't want to take a picture with me, frankly. But aside, it reminds me a little bit of there was this clip I saw online a while ago. It always warms my heart when I see it, and it was. Have you seen it? It's Russell Westbrook, and he's like at the conference. He's doing like a post game interview or something, and like some woman was asking him a question after the game, and she starts complimenting his like dribbling and like his rebound, like his hustle, and you see him like adjust his seat, and he's like, hang on now, like what's this? Because the guy had been under fire for a while, and you could tell like his energy, bro. It's a powerful clip because you can see what one person can do for someone. Not to be really mushy about it, guys.
That's what you're saying.
You can really see in that clip, like when someone they're trying to hold strong, and they hear that one thing, and it's like that moment of like, oh my God, like really? And that's the power of a comment.
Yes.
You know, it goes really far. I think it goes further than people think on both directions. Like sometimes it's like that cuts deep. That's really fucked up to say. There's other times it's like, I just needed that one person to say that. And I usually try to find that person and reply to them. And I had one person the other day, I got to find the video. Our editor, Dan, put me onto it. And it was just like a really nice write-in of like, you know, hey, I'm like 52. I like appreciate what you do and what you say. Like I look forward to your content. It was just like that kind of like simple, effective kindness that it's like, oh wow. Like, cause it was talking about Bethesda, and I remember my feeling going to that video was like, it was that balance of like, I need to talk about this because it's important for awareness. Bethesda needs to know this isn't okay. I'm not going to like fucking put their ass on blast completely. But there's also that moment of like, am I in a cloud right now? Like, is there just, am I negative? Like, I don't think I am. Like, I always try to be, I'm very sensitive to that because I don't want to ever be known as the negative guy, the hater. So you get to that moment and you're like, all right, I'm going to go for it because I think this is a well-reasoned conversation. When you get that type of comment, which is like, hey, dude, just like, thank you. It brightens my day. And I'm like, really? Like, oh, okay. You know, I just see like Russell. I'm like, really?
Yep.
The whole day.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I got to shout out to Rubbing the Dukes for that. There's been a couple of times this year. Well, I was apathetic. I became disenchanted with social media and I was just like, it's such a mess and so negative and you know, you go through it, right? And we go through our pay. Like you said about the comments, you get one comment on a bad day. It's like, bro, it'll ruin you. It'll mess with your spirit, right? And there's
like,
a
worst feeling is, not to interrupt you, but you'll have that nice day or a good day or fine day, and someone you never even encountered, like you don't know what they look like. It's just things that you read. Like you didn't have a human encounter and your day got worse. It's a very weird feeling when you think about it that way. Go ahead though. Sorry.
Absolutely, brother. And it's like, and I'll never forget, like, you know, people are perceptive, and I got a comment, like a DM from, I'm not gonna name the names, but two people caught me on moments that I was like really low. And it's like, yo, man, I just want you to know, like, don't you ever stop what you're doing. Like, you are one of the more positive people. And like, bro, you make my day. And it really lifted my spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was going through it for a little bit, you know, because you do block it out. You go about your day and stuff like that. You know, I got my 10 tweet rule with the nonsense. But, you know, you can't say it doesn't. You don't see it, right? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And it can mess with you sometimes. But yeah, those things I always cherish, because there's a couple of people that would just say some really cool things that direct DM'd me and stuff like that. I was like, thank you for that. It really help me put things in perspective, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I needed that. Thank you very much. And yeah, Rumble the Dukes always comes through for that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. It's huge what the audience can do for you. So we appreciate you all, you know, for just having our backs for another year. Definitely been a bumpy ride these last couple of years in the terms of what Xbox is doing. And I have no doubt 2026 will be that, but it's kind of been good experience to sharpen the blades on and just see what they can throw at us and how we handle it in stride. It's at the point now where these kind of disaster things that happen with Xbox used to like they were mandatory. Like, remember at the top of 2024, it was like, we got to get together now. Like, Xbox is done. We got to all talk. Now it's like, oh, all right, like price hikes. Yeah, Wednesday. We'll record Wednesday evening as usual. Like, think about it, bro. Our whole entire approach to the breaking news, it was so consistently bad. We never had to change anything anymore. We're like, yeah, it's like, like we'd be moving the schedule almost monthly at a certain point. So
yes, I remember those days.
The most we do at this point now is like, hey, Dustin, can we like just drop this on Patreon at the same time as like public feeds? Like, just see where it goes. But we appreciate those of you who have tuned in for the bumpy rides, and no doubt 2026 will have its ups and downs, but we're here for it all. We appreciate you being with us.
Yes.
Hog, any other closing thoughts before we round this out?
That's it. Final shout out, I would say, is to all the LSM fam. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes that make us sound good, look good. Shout out to obviously all the pods I was punching up, and obviously the Sacred Boys, and of course Brad. Brad's been a huge part for this year. I want to give him some credit. Yeah. He's been, like I said, the Swiss Army knife. He can jump in, jump out, and obviously we got love for Sub Inside and doing things with him and stuff like. Great addition for the team, and obviously shout out to Gene. Shout out to Gene Clark, the legend. Shout out to Hogue Law, everybody, man. Chris, Dust, everybody, Locke. Just being on shows, different permutations of us. When we do get a chance to link, has always been fun. So I always got love for LSM, man, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's that synergy and always respect. I felt like this is like the college course of podcasting. We can, we get that higher level here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have fun. Don't get me wrong, but we have really dope discussions that have nuance. I'm always about nuance and digging deeper. And that, I feel, since I've been here and I'm part of the LSM fam, that's what I appreciate the most. It's like, we're at a college level here. All right. We're doing this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to the whole team. Everyone, I think, did a really good job this year. Shout out especially Brad and Gene.
Killed it.
Just complete all-stars. But Brad also just, had filled in on some key episodes that, you were busy, or I was busy just stepping up. Always happened to step in when there was some nasty news and
it always did when it's the worst news ever. Xbox history, he's around.
Yeah, he just seems to be present for that good stuff. So no doubt, like, next time you see Brad on the show, I'm sure. Just know I think a lot of these knows when they see his face in the thumbnail, like, yeah. That's not a good
he's
sign.
A button pusher. He's a fellow button pusher like me, so I like that.
So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to everyone though. I just love doing what we do here, and it's just a ton of fun. And it's one of those things where, I guess I'll close on this, is it's an era of your life that we're kind of in the thick of it now, but there's going to be a time where when it all stops, you look back at it and you're like, that was so special. What we had, that week to week thing. I'm not even talking about us. I feel like there's just a world where you and I will always be doing something at this point.
Yeah, we're going to be connected. I could always say we have too much synergy. To
the hip, unfortunately. But
unfortunately.
For the LSM, like, I don't know whatever lies in the future, but there's going to be that point where it's like, man, what an era. Like, I started this in really talking to Colin and working with him like in 2020, and like, that was one of my favorite people in the industry. And now we get to call him a friend, and like, that's just really cool. And like, there's going to be that point where, in that reflection period, whenever it's all done, it's like, wow, what a time. So
what a time.
I'm glad the audience enjoys it. I think we're all on the same page here. Just shout out to the team, shout out to everyone who listens, and we'll be back in 2026. We're not going to miss a beat, so I'm talking like you're not going to hear from us for a while, but I guess for us, we're laying down the microphones for a little bit. I guess in my case, not really. You'll see me live and stuff.
I feel bad because Fallout said, hey, remember your holiday?
They took care of their friends. That's all that matters. Like, be honest, dude. Like, if I was not a commentator and I was like, new Fallout, December 24th, the 31st, like, I would let these episodes stack and watch them on Christmas Day, bro. Like, that's a true gift. So I think what they're doing is cool. It's just going to be a little bit difficult to navigate around for a couple weeks, but that's no problem. It's worth it. And but otherwise, we appreciate everyone listening. We'll be back next week. We haven't missed a beat at all here on Last Stand for years, and we'll continue to keep it that way. So stay tuned. We'll see what's going on to open up 2026. But until then, we hope everyone who's celebrating had a great Christmas, has a great new year. Set some goals for yourself. No doubt the health is wealth write-ins will be plentiful. I'll have my own health is wealth goal because I was not health is wealth in the second half of this year, bro. I was trying my best, and it's been a rough one. It's
been a rough one.
I'll be there with you all with our new gym subscription. So we appreciate you, and we'll catch you in 2026. But until then, peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.